Welcome back to the Jordan Syatt podcast. Before we dive into this very exciting episode, make sure you listen the whole way through. I have a quick announcement. If you're watching the video, you can see I'm sitting with my buddy, Mike Viconti. Mike, you want to say hello?
Hey, y'all.
Mike and I are the hosts of the How to Become a Personal Trainer podcast, which is meant for personal trainers who want to become really good at what you do. So if you want to be a better coach, learn how to help your clients get better results in a sustainable way, and also learn how to build your online coaching business, I'll put the link in the show notes for the How to Become a Personal Trainer podcast. Mike and I upload every single Tuesday, and it's 100% free.
We hope you like it. And now let's get into today's podcast episode.
Today, I am honored to introduce you to my dear friend, Ryan Kassem. I met Ryan in 2018 and quickly realized he's one of the most kind, caring, honest, empathetic, thoughtful, and hardworking individuals I've ever met. Ryan is like a brother to me. I trust him with my life, and I'm blessed to have him here today. Ryan,
hey,
welcome to the podcast.
Shabbat
brother.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom. It's so funny. For every time Ryan calls me or I call him, we always start with a Shabbat Shalom. Could be a Tuesday, not a Shabbat.
Yeah.
And last night, my wife found out that Ryan isn't Jewish.
That's right.
She thought this whole time you were Jewish because you are.
I'm fooish, is what they say. I'm a fake foo.
I also wish people had the insight to the immediate before we start recording. I had boogers in both my nostrils. You were telling me about them.
I was checking them, man.
Checking them out, telling me you need to fade my beard because I've got that hard
I want
stop.
to. There's a lot of things I want to do to you.
All right. We're going to do it a little bit different today.
Yeah.
Before we dive in, can you just give us insight into who you are and your story? So, who are you? Where are you from?
Do you want yours first?
Yeah. Well, so we got a little olive oil shot. Let's go.
Welcome to the Syatt house.
Let's go, baby. This has got a little bite to it.
Yeah, it's. I'm worried I'll shit my pants later on the flight.
You might, or during the podcast.
So rich.
If you're like, hey, we need a pause. I'm gonna know what's going on.
Hey, Mitch, let's take a break. I feel it like slowly drizzling down my throat, which is good. It's what you want.
Which is good.
It's very good. My lips are so moist right now. It's amazing.
What's your story, Ryan? Let's get into it.
Well, I'm from a small town in Monroe, Connecticut. I'm the son of a immigrant father from Lebanon and a blonde Afro woman from Connecticut, my mom. And I just grew up in a amazing family. I was a mama's boy always growing up. Shout out to my mom because she's definitely listening to this podcast.
Oh, let's go.
Always. And I think my story, at least with fitness and nutrition, honestly has a lot to tie in to do with you, which I think is the coolest part. Because before I met you, I was very into, say, sort of like aesthetics when it came to training. And I did play like sports growing up, and I had an amazing mentor named Carl Bodner. And then I got into sort of post-college, like, let's just focus on how my body looks and all that. And I got jacked. Like, when the 2016 Thing Challenge came out, like, a few months back or something like that.
The challenge?
It was like 10 years ago. Where were you? Type deal.
Oh, yeah.
I was jacked, brother. I was in good shape. But the key to that is I was great shape on the outside, but internally, mentally, I was broken. And that was something that really was sort of my what I call like little moment for me, was that I looked amazing on the outside. I smiled, I laughed. Nobody knew anything was going on internally, right? You just see this guy on the outside like he's a happy guy. He laughs all the time. Great smile, whatever. And let me just keep going. Attractive. And I remember a big moment for me. I was working out, middle of the gym, and this gym member, this regular, came up to me. His nickname was the Dragon. Of course, that was his nickname.
Did he make that his nickname, or did other people make that his nickname?
Couldn't even tell you the source. Great question. Did I care to ask that? No, you assume. I think his first name was actually Courtney, which is actually
Courtney
180 from the Dragon.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which is maybe why that stuck.
Yeah.
Right? So the Dragon comes up to me, And he just goes, "Hey man, I could tell you're struggling."
Oh, wow.
And, I've had like passing by conversations. I've got to work out with him a couple times. But he's like, "Hey, I can tell you're struggling and you're not doing well." He goes, "I just want you to know it's all going to be okay." And he leaves. And then that was sort of my moment where I realized this facade, this mask that I was putting on, like people are seeing through this. Like this person who didn't even really know me. My family never said anything. My friends never said anything. This person comes up to me and says, "I could tell you're struggling. You're not doing well. I just want you to know it's be okay." So I just started crying. And
Right there, after he walked
after
away?
he walked away. And I had to sort of like check myself and leave the gym. But that was my real moment where I was like, I need to do something about this. So that's when I started going to therapy. And that was a really pivotal moment for me because that was my, hey, you can't outlift your feelings. You're never going to be able to bench press your stress away, which is what I had just done. My tool was just to work out for stress management. And like I said, that was my moment where I was like, hey, someone who doesn't even know you, like my mom never said anything. You says, it's hard to tell somebody, hey, that's a very vulnerable thing to do. Say, hey, I can sense like something's going on. Like, what's up? Like, that's a hard conversation to initiate.
Do you think that they knew? Do you think that other people were aware?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Because I think I thought I just did a great job of just faking it. Because I mean, you hear all these stories about people who struggle with mental health. It's like leading up to anything. It's like you never know, right? You never know because you get so good at masking, whatever you're struggling with, and whether that's like you could say like maybe that's just what men do, or maybe I just got really good at it because my dad's like a immigrant guy, right? Very emotionally unavailable in some ways, right? And you kind of mimic that as well. And then you take my mom on the other side. My mom is like emotions on her sleeve. Like, right away if something bothers her or if she's upset, like would cry like, in front of you. So you take like this very emotional person, you take this very emotionally unavailable person and you combine that. And basically what I had just like a volcano of emotions underneath, but I would just keep it like dormant. And it just builds and builds and builds. And yeah, so basically my story is that's when I learned that, hey, fitness and nutrition is cool. Right? It has its purpose, but if you're not doing anything else for your mindset, your mental health, it doesn't mean shit. And that's really sort of my story that I always like to share because it really has everything that I do now stems from that. I remember the conversation we had. It was so for hey, for those watching Inner Circle peeps, I was a OG member, I think 2018. I was just looking at the screenshots. And you used to run these challenges, these Inner Circle challenges. And I think one of them was like, you got to run a 6-minute mile, do X amount of push-ups, pull-ups, whatever.
That was like the highest level. There were
Level.
levels to it, yeah.
Highest level. And the prize was get a t-shirt or talk to you on the phone. I was like, fuck that, dude. I don't want your t-shirt. I want your time, brother. And so I was like, cranked it out, did on the treadmill for the mile, hit that, crushed it. I was like, nobody's getting these numbers. Nobody's getting these numbers. I'll guarantee it. And I remember we set up a call. It was a cold day in October. I had my shirt off. I was just wearing sweatpants. And you just called me out of nowhere. You're like, hey, brother, still a good time? I was like, I don't think we ever established a time. You're like getting in and out of a taxi, like all this stuff. And I just go outside and it's freezing, nips hard freezing, right? And I had no reason to be out there. And we're on the phone for like an hour, I think. Like a long time. Very genuine conversation, very, very much like right now. And we didn't even talk fitness and nutrition. We just talked life.
Yeah.
You asked me about my family. I think we got into stuff about my dad. And I just remember that moment being so important for me because it just illuminated the power of vulnerability and community and friendship and really just solidified the type of person that I thought you to be was just like, you're just a good dude and you have a good soul and you genuinely care. And I think in that moment I really needed somebody who genuinely cared about me. And that I will never forget that moment. And you're just, I started to shiver. You're like, are you shivering right now? I go, yeah, I'm outside. He goes, well, that's fucking stupid. I was like, okay, yeah. Got it. Yeah, cool. Well, you call me, brother. Okay. So I think the long-winded answer to your story, your question about who I am, my story and all that is I'm still a kid from a small town, raised by an amazing mom, amazing dad. I worked through a lot of my own shit that I don't put any blame on anyone else anymore. I own everything. And, I really prioritize my mental health, and I prioritize my health in general. But I'm just a firm believer you can't have one without the other.
How did you decide to start going to therapy? Was that like a no-brainer? Was there resistance for you? Like what made you say, I'm going to go talk to someone?
It's interesting, actually. So my parents separated my senior year of high school, and that was like a compound effect, because one, they separated going into my senior year of high school. And going into your senior high school, you're like, I want this to be the best year ever, right? And I got named captain of the football team, right?
Oh, nice.
So like, here I am, big dick swinging. And my parents split up.
Were you expecting it or no?
No, it came out of nowhere. We went on vacation in Aruba, and my mom just like, and the weird thing was, and Mom, if you're listening, I love you. I've shared this story many times, so it's not a big deal. But we went on vacation in Aruba, and the weird thing was I noticed something was off because my dad was like hugging my mom. And that might sound weird to most people, because you expect, like, yeah, your parents, like, they'll hug each other, they'll embrace each other. Like, that never really happened when I was growing up. So that was my indicator, like, oh, that's weird, right?
Affection.
Oh, strange. A hug, strange. And that's when I kind of know something was off. And then we went on vacation, and then my mom basically a couple of days in was just like, hey, your father and I are
on vacation
in Aruba. And
your dad wasn't part of the conversation?
He was not part of the conversation. And she was just like, we're splitting up. And we actually left that vacation early, and we got back home, and I watched my dad pack his stuff up and leave, and that was really hard to sort of watch. And that was the start of my senior year of high school. And and I think I never realized at the time how important it is to have a father figure that's really present in your life until he wasn't, like it was a strange year. Like, again, my dad right now, I have the best relationship, and he's in such a healthy place, and he's got a great relationship with God, and he's like the person I turn to for advice now. It's like our relationship's amazing. But at that time, like, he would come to my football games drinking, and it was almost like out of like a teenage drama show, and I'd have to stay at my friend's house sometimes, because they would just argue and get into arguments, and it was a really like very I felt very abandoned in that time. I felt very this is supposed to be my year, like this is supposed to be the year, like I have the best time of my life before I go into the next chapter. And I basically lost like my family system in a way. And so then I tear my shoulder playing football. I tore my labrum. So, I have to get surgery at the end of the season. And then my girlfriend breaks up with me like a few months later. And it was that was the last straw for me. And I told my mom, because I just remember being in my room, and this was when I was like 18. I was just like, I'm not good right now. And if I keep going down this road, like, it's not going to be good. And I didn't know what that result would be, but I was just like, I don't want to get there. And so I told my mom, I was like, I need to go to therapy.
Wow.
So that was my first introduction to therapy when I was 18. So when it came back around again, pretty much like 8 years later, when it came back around again, I had already known therapy was helpful for me before.
So it was good for you?
It was good for me. I had a good experience. It was awkward as hell when I was a kid. When I was younger, I had this male therapist. Like, the first couple sessions, like, good luck getting anything out of me, right? Like, stonewall. He's like, how you doing? Good. Like, fine.
Even though you wanted to
Even
go.
though I wanted to go. Well, because here's how I think about it. Like, vulnerability is a skill. It is a skill. You might think most people think it's innate, right? You're born with vulnerability. It's like, no. You know how hard it is to share something you're struggling with? You know, it's like you have to rip yourself open and just be like, look, like this is me right now. And you don't get there unless you practice that. So that was like my first instance of having hard conversations and practicing that. So I realized like, yeah, therapy is good. Even though I wanted to go, it still didn't mean I was capable of opening up or even capable of recognizing what my emotions were or what I was feeling. I think that's something I've realized as we get older. Like, you know how like when you'll see in like kids' classrooms, there'll be like a face that says sad or like angry or things like that. It's very basic, right? But we carry that with us our whole lives, right? Like you ask what's wrong. And I think you asked that to your daughter before. You picked her up. You go, what's wrong? You sad, right? Or are you just faking it, right? Fair question.
She fakes it all the time.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, exactly. Kids do that, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe because they want attention.
Yeah.
They want co-regulation, right? It's like, what is our real need? So, but as adults, we never evolve past angry, sad, scared, right? So something that helped me was like, I don't know if you ever heard of the feelings wheel.
I don't know. Maybe 7th grade.
Mitch,
I don't know.
Mitch, look it up. Mitch, Google it. The feelings wheel, right?
Pull up the feelings wheel. Pull up the
Yeah. Hey, let's pull it up here. Let's pull it up here. Yeah. So picture like Wheel of Fortune.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And on the center of Wheel of Fortune's angry, sad, happy, stress, right?
Okay.
And it branches off from those categories and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and more specific. Okay. So that's really important because you might say angry, sad thing, but like it's so much deeper than that. It really stems from, hey, maybe it's abandonment, maybe it's betrayal, maybe it's discouragement, maybe it's like pure excitement, right? So when you can get more specific about your emotion, you can get more specific about a solution, right? So basically all I have to say from therapy, I had to learn that process of like, what am I actually feeling? How do I express this feeling? And how do I share that to somebody who I don't even freaking know?
Yeah.
Right? Who I volunteered to go see, right? So that was, and the resistance with therapy, I think back then too, therapy was more like a stigma, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Now it's cool. Fuck that. Now it's cool. But back then, I remember training a client and just being like, hey, I'm gonna have to reschedule our session for next week. I have a therapy appointment. And her just like stopping mid-workout, looking at me and be like, are you okay? Like, is something wrong? And it was interesting because in that moment, I'm like, I was taken aback. I was like, oh, like, is this not cool to say? Like, am I gonna lose a client because I think I'm fucking crazy right now? But it was also in that moment, I was like, man, I got to talk about this more. Because if you think that something has to be wrong with you to talk to somebody, or that you have to have some sort of diagnosed mental illness to go see a therapist, like, I got to talk about that. So I fought some resistance. I also, like, when you tell your family you're going to therapy, you have to like, you're like prepared and you're like, okay, all right, here we go. Uncle Kurt's going to be like, what the fuck's wrong with this kid right now? Like, why is he going to therapy? All that stuff. But man, I'm so happy I did because it just, big thing about therapy is people think that if you go to therapy, you change, right? That's false. Going to therapy just turns on the light in a dark room and says like, hey, here's your mess. It's up to you if you want to clean it up. So going to therapy alone doesn't change your life. It's what you do as soon as you walk outside that room. And I could tell you 100% of my like amazing moments started with initiating a hard conversation.
Outside of therapy.
Outside of therapy. I mean, therapy has its own hurdles you got to jump through just to illuminate that room, right? Your therapist is almost like an electrician, be like, oh, hey, the lights are fixed right now. This is your shit right now. What do you want to do, right? What are you going to do about it? You know, and it's your responsibility after that to say, do I want to change this or not?
Have you always had immediately good relationships with your therapist, or have you had to like try and like just try one and then you have to find a new one? Like, what's that been like?
I feel like I've had 3 therapists in my life. One was I was a kid, the other when I went through like 8 years after that, and then I recently had one like last year that I did for about 6 months. And I think for me, I tend to give people more benefit of the doubt in terms of like developing a relationship. I think it's also just the awareness that I need a little time to feel comfortable with someone and to start being vulnerable and all that. And so for me, I also think the therapist I went to, my mom recommended, so it was helpful to know that my mom liked this therapist. She also knew my family. My grandpa taught her in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was like good family history. So she was somebody who has a pulse on my life and can also say like, hey, your grandpa would be so proud of you right now. And things like that are just so helpful and just hits you right when you need it. You know, to have that tool that most therapists might not have. But I never really had a jumping around therapist type person. Like maybe people jump around for fitness coaches and stuff like that. I always just stuck it out and just made sure like it felt right. And it just happened to do that. Like I think if you just really trust the process of what a therapist can do, it can really help illuminate those rooms. But you know, and there's also therapists who suck, and that's any profession.
Yeah, of course.
Any profession. So it's kind of just, do I feel safe to communicate, and do I feel like I'm being pushed as well, and that I'm not being coddled, or there's grace given when I'm not giving it to myself.
Yeah. I don't know if we covered it, but last night we were talking about a bunch of different things, and you had said, you know, is therapy good nowadays? Is there something specific you wanted to cover on that topic?
Yeah, I think, well, here's the thing, because therapy is it's everywhere now. It's like,
Yeah.
it's hot. Therapy's hot, man.
It's trending, right?
It's so trendy. It's so trendy, which in a way was like, I love that. I love that. Think about our parents 40 years ago. Like nobody went to fucking therapy. And you got sent to an insane asylum, right? It's like, and they were like, ding, ding. Like, it's like,
Did you ever see Analyze This and Analyze That with Robert De Niro? And he's like,
I did,
going to
yeah.
a shrink.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't tell anybody I'm going to a shrink.
yeah,
And
it's like Billy Crystal, right?
yeah. Be like, dude, exactly. It was
Not
a whole
dead,
big
not dead. Tough.
And like the comedy in that movie is that it's a mobster who's doing it, but like I think it's very reminiscent of people like, I don't want to tell anybody I'm going to a shrink.
Right, exactly. Because they'll think you're fucking crazy.
Yes,
right, yeah.
yeah.
Head of the mob,
Like
I'm
weak.
right?
I'm like having an anxiety.
Right, I'm having anxiety.
I don't know, a fucking anxiety attack.
That's right. Wow, dude, that's a great movie. What was your question? I forget it. Is there any? Oh, it's just trendy,
Like,
right?
therapy nowadays. Like, you had said that last night. And I was like, I want to bring that up.
Yeah, because when things become trendy, so now therapy words become buzzy, right?
Yeah,
You hear
vulnerability.
gaslight all the time.
Oh,
You hear-
yeah.
You hear
Narcissist.
vulnerability, narcissist. Like you hear all these terms, and I don't think people truly grasp maybe what those terms are. / I think they're used so frequently they lose their depth.
Agreed.
And I also think when it becomes trendy, you get all these there's like BetterHelp.com, which like does make it so that you have better access to therapy, which is amazing. Like overall goal, great. But like it also opens the field for bad therapists. And, you know, I had a friend, she was going to therapy and she tried that website and like they never showed up to her appointments. So it's like, you have this like very vulnerable moment where like I'm going to take this moment to work on myself, and then that person doesn't even show up. So I think when things become trendy, it loses the quality, and I think the expectations that people get from it. Like that's what I was saying. It's like people think just because they go to therapy, you're good.
Right.
It's like, no, like your work starts as soon as your therapy appointment ends. If you're going to therapy because you're stressed and overwhelmed, then that means you need to address that in your everyday life. What's the root of that? Where does that stem from? If you're not going to change it, then you're just paying a therapist to vent to feel good for an hour post therapy, and then you're back to it.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
so true.
So I think that's what I mean when like therapy is so trendy right now, and it's really important that you understand you're just signing up to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
You're leaving your ignorance is bliss life, which hey, those were good times.
Those are the best times.
Don't get me wrong. I had a great time. Because as soon as you start diving in, you realize like, holy shit, there's a lot of baggage here that I have to work on. Or I can just see it and pretend it's not there. I don't want to work on it, which is your choice. But I think that's what I was referring to, is because it's so trendy. You know, I think these buzzwords get thrown around, it loses its luster, and the assumption that just going to therapy is going to change you as a human being, but it's really, you're just getting started.
One of the buzzwords that gets thrown around a lot is vulnerability. And going to like the social media world, I think there's so many amazing things that have come from it. People being more open and vulnerable and honest, which is great. One of the struggles that I have is watching people who they're vulnerable not because they're trying to be vulnerable, but because they're using it as a strategy, which is difficult to reconcile when I see people who are using vulnerability, whether it's real or fake or exaggerated, because they know that being vulnerable is like something people will look for on social media, but they're using vulnerability as a business strategy, not because they're actually trying to be vulnerable.
Yeah. Vulnerability for views.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. That's exactly right.
The VV.
Yeah, dude. It's the thing.
Yeah. It's true. And I think here's my story with vulnerability. My story of vulnerability started at your conference, seminar, retreat that you had, the Inner Circle Retreat 2019, Austin, Texas. Great weekend. You said an amazing event. I hope you think about doing another one in the future.
We will.
Yeah. I'd love to come. Put it out there. It was pivotal for me. And the reason was because at the end of it, everybody started sharing.
Yeah.
Being very vulnerable. Like, if you think about vulnerability,
that was completely
unplanned.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that I think of, when I think of vulnerability, I think of that. It's you are sharing your soul, your depth, knowing that, not knowing the outcome after it, but you know that in your heart, this is the right thing to do in this moment. So everybody's going around the room, people talking about binge eating, stress eating, body image, all these things. And you know how, I don't know if you've had these moments in your life, but you're just like, I have to fucking do this right now.
Yeah.
And it's really scary, but like, and you start getting the shakes a little bit. And I was like, I have to talk. If I don't, I'll regret this forever. So the mic gets passed around and I get it. And I still have this video too, but it was basically me saying, hey, fitness nutrition's cool, but it's fucking easy for me. I understand it's hard for you guys, but it's fucking easy for me, right? And then I basically just said how I never shared it before, but I shared my mental health. I was like, I struggle with anxiety, I struggle with depression. And I also shared how important you were in my life at that moment, because up until that moment, like, my mom would say, I love you to me and stuff like that. But, you know, my dad would kind of say it every now and then. And my friends and I, we never said it at the time or anything like that. And whenever you would say, I remember the first time you said, I love you to me, I was like, yeah, I love you too. Yeah. And that was a pivotal for me, because I'm talking about our relationship. I started getting choked up because you would just text me, I love you, man, thinking about you. And like I said, given all the history I just talked about with my mental health and all like that, that's stuff it stuck with me. And to be able to share that in a room full of people that like, this is what I struggle with, this is who I am, this person said this to me, and this is what it meant to me. And just to actually, I started crying. And I think we all were crying. Everyone's crying. Yeah. And that to me is vulnerability. And I think when you lead with that, I think intention matters.
Agreed.
Like you were just saying, vulnerability for views is one thing. Vulnerability because you know you're going to be a better person on the other side of these words and these actions is the real deal. It's like this olive oil. It's from the ancient olive oil trees of Italy. It goes down smooth and it's stiff at the end, right? Like that's vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing is, yes, there's always going to, dude, it's been going on for centuries. There's always been people who exaggerate their vulnerability, their feelings, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, like if you know this is what I need to do, I need to say this because I hide behind this, or the person I'm trying to be is on the other side of this, then it has to be said. And whether you get emotional when you say it, cool, or whether it's just like you say it and you're like, yeah, here I am. I think that's the biggest difference between vulnerability for views and just genuine vulnerability.
So if fitness and nutrition and all of that's relatively easy for you, when you're in therapy, what are some of the things that you're working on?
Well, the bigger things when I first started was, so first when I got in there, it's almost like, let's address the symptoms first, because we can't really get to the root because you're anxious as fuck. Or you going through depressive episodes and you shut down. So the first things we worked on, and this is what I was telling you about, it's why meditation's so important for me. It's why journaling's so important for me. Because I had to develop those stress management tools in order to calm my nervous system down. And once I calm my nervous system down, then it's almost like, you know, when you have like those moments you're talking to God and you're just like, oh, I'm listening. I hear you. It's similar with that. It's like once my nervous system just relaxes and it's like, hey, you're just overwhelmed right now. You put a lot on your plate, or it's okay that you feel a little anxious in the moment because you're actually really excited to go on Jordan's podcast. Like that's really cool, right? So when I first got into therapy, we worked a lot on stress management tools because, and I think I was texting you during this time, I would have routine panic attacks. I would wake up with a panic attack in the morning, and I would have them periodically throughout the day, like clockwork. And that was the hardest part for me because, like I said, working out was my tool. It's like I said, it's like that first cup of coffee. Like, this is great. I don't feel stressed anymore at all. This is amazing. And then you try it again, and it's like a little bit less. You try it again, it's a little bit less. And then for me, it got to the point where I was actually having panic attacks while I was working out.
Oh, geez.
So something that I was like, what's happening? Like, I can't just like work out anymore and get rid of this. Like, no, dude, because that tool helps you reduce your anxiety, but you still hate your boss, right? Like you still have these relationships that are in flux, or you're not happy where you are in life, right? Like those things are still, those present, like really things are, those are what you're struggling with. So when I first went to therapy, we did a lot of tools. I learned how to meditate, learning just how to find your breath, learning to journal, learning to block out time for my schedule. Like crazy. Well, like a crazy thing, like sounds so simple, but it's like, it's so true. It's like, hey, plan out your shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, plan out a little bit, and that's going to help alleviate some stress because you think you always have to go, you're trying to do everything at once. So we worked on that. And then once I was able to do that, then I found out, oh, I need to be better at establishing boundaries with people I love. I need to not associate hard conversations as I'm hurting somebody, and reframe it as I'm telling you this because I love you and I want us to have a good relationship, not because I want to hurt you. It might hurt us in the short term, but I'm doing this because long term, I want you here. So learning how to reframe my thoughts and my actions, and also just learning roots of things, right? Like I remember this breakthrough I had my therapist about anxiety, and she's just kind of going through, she's like, so you never had anxiety your whole life? I was like, nah, just now. I don't know why. And then we start talking more, and I just find out like I've had anxiety my whole life. This is crazy. I can remember when I started Pop Warner football, I would start having shortness of breath, and it was just like I would, during the games, like I couldn't, you know, when you try and take that big inhale and you never feel satisfied with it, I would have that. And my mom literally took me to like a I think it's a pulmonologist. Who's the guy? Hey, Mitch, lung guy, lung doctor, Mitch, where you get your lungs checked, right, to see if I had asthma. And they diagnosed me with sports-induced asthma.
Oh, wow.
So here I am with an inhaler thinking that I have asthma. And dude, it was anxiety. It was my first year ever playing football. I was nervous. I became the starting running back. I was scared, dude. I was just scared.
It is a pulmonologist.
Thank you, Mitch.
Go,
Pulmonologist. Thank you, Jamie. I love that. Mitch, you're going to be part of this podcast. So I went to the pulmonologist and they diagnosed me with sports-induced asthma. And that was me clicking it back to therapy. Like, you know, you have the detective board. Like, this is crazy. Everything connects. It's crazy.
All the push pins.
All the push pins, dude, like a mad scientist. And I just start connecting the dots a lot of things too, which helps you because you're like, oh, like this stems from this, but it also doesn't mean I have to carry it with me going forward. And I think learning all these things in therapy, also like, hey, talking to a therapist, I'm about to have a really hard conversation with my sister, right? This issue keeps popping up. I need to talk about it. I've been avoiding it. How can I approach this so that I don't feel like I'm attacking this person or coming on too strong? And then, hey, what if the worst case scenario happens because we all tell ourselves stories? How can I handle that? So it's almost just like prepping for life in some ways. But those were like the biggest things, is like boundaries, initiating hard conversations, being able to reframe, getting tools for my mental health, and then just carrying that out into the real world and applying it.
How has meditation worked for you?
I know you freaking love it, dude. One day I'm going to get you, dude. I'm going to get you.
I want to bring it up. I know.
Yeah.
Talk to me about meditation just in general.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think most people associate that you have to be a monk to meditate, that you have to dedicate 10 plus minutes a day to meditate, that you have to sit in silence to meditate. I also think that people would rather run a marathon than sit with themselves for 2 to 3 minutes. Maybe not you. Maybe you'd rather do a whole jujitsu, get beat up by a bunch of jujitsu guys in a class than meditate for a minute, right? So I think there's sort of a misunderstanding when it comes to meditation. Most people think when they try it, they're like, I can't shut my brain off. It's like, cool. You're not supposed to. It's actually what's supposed to happen, because it's the first time all day you actually sat in silence and you let your brain do its thing. It's almost like, you know, when you lay down at night and you finally shut the lights off, you turn off your chess game, right? You're just laying in bed and all your thoughts from the day just start flooding in and you can't stop thinking. And people are like, I struggle with insomnia. It's, well, just think about that. You turned off all your stimulus from the day. It's just you in this room. And now everything is coming forward. And so now it's up to you to just give it space. We don't need to judge it, right? Because crazy shit comes up. Even my mom, like, whoa, that's nuts. I'm not going to say that out loud. So we don't need to judge it. We just need to observe it and give it space, right? That's what I was telling you, like Viktor Frankl, right? There's that quote in Man's Search for Meaning where you have a stimulus, and then you have the reaction, and then you have the space in between. Meditation gives you more space in between, gives you more square footage to just feel what you need to feel and observe what you need to feel and not judge what you need to feel, so that you can just be present when you have this reaction, right? Like, you have kids, they'll drop forks on the floor. I was at dinner last night. They'll drop forks on the floor. They'll make a little bit of a mess. You do a great job in that moment, not being like you'll go like, but but you won't yell or panic, or maybe sometimes we do because it's very like, whoa, like you're reacting to it. But meditation allows you, it trains you to find your breath. It trains you that, hey, it's not that serious. It's all good. And it just trains you not to judge yourself and just to observe what you got going on. And most people think that you have to do it for a long time. It's like, you could start with a minute. And you want to do something quick?
Let's do it.
So box breathing, you heard of box breathing?
Yeah. I do box breathing.
I love that. So here's we'll give some context to the people. So I've gotten very foo-foo over the years. I think my mom's a crystal girl, right?
Oh, is she?
She's a crystal girl.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Tarot cards, all that
Really?
stuff. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's great. And so I've always leaned into that. Like, I've always been into yoga. I've always been into meditation.
That's why you're so fucking flexible, dude.
Dude, you saw me.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Just
about to
dropped
split
in
the
a
seams
split.
with these splits. Well, I'll show you after. Whoa. But So basically, I started taking breathwork classes. And
Okay.
a breathwork, I don't know if you've ever seen it, where it's people be like
Yeah.
screaming in class. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, right? At first, you're like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. People are screaming. You're like, what the fuck? But that's just your ego, right? You're afraid to be vulnerable as well, right? So what I learned from these breathwork classes is that you just got to tap into, you got to get out of here and get into here, because there's a lot of stored emotion in the body. And also, a good reframe is that your breath is medicine. Okay, the ability to find your breath is therapeutic. It is like medicine, because it can take you from a very fight or flight, anxious state to a much calmer state. Right? It's also like when we're in our fight or flight state, like we leave our logical part of our brain, the amygdala takes over, and it's like, I'm running the freaking show now, brother. Like, you're gonna say that shit you don't want to say to your wife right now, and you're gonna do this action. It's all out of emotion, right? Like, let's roll. What finding your breath does is it can take you out of that state and put you in a more logical state, right? It's why you always hear like people when they're in arguments like, I didn't mean to say that, right? Because you're in such a emotional state. So all that to say, when it comes to breath work and how I teach all my clients is, we'll start with box breathing, which is you inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. You hold your breath for 4 seconds. You exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds, and then you hold your breath again for 4 seconds, right? So it kind of makes like a box. And when you take your inhale, what I want you to do is I want you to think about taking the biggest breath you've taken all day, right? Like, your body deserves this breath, right? You need this breath, okay? And you're going to hold it. And when you hold it, just be at peace. I like to put a hand on myself just to reassure myself I'm safe, I'm good, you're cool, right? You can close your eyes if you want to, or you can have them just like a soft gaze, whatever you feel safer with. I think that's the most important part, okay? And then when you exhale through your mouth, like, really just let it go, okay? And I want you to just observe too, when you're doing it, when you fill your belly up with air, our body rises, and then when you exhale, it kind of sinks down, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll walk you through it.
Okay.
I don't want you to think about a damn thing,
Cool.
okay? I'm gonna count for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you when to breathe. I'm gonna tell you when to hold it. I'm gonna tell you when to exhale. I'm gonna tell you hold it again, and let's do 4 rounds,
Okay.
okay?
4. So that's like 16 total breaths.
Yes, sir.
16. Okay, cool. And everyone listening, do this with me.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're driving, don't close your eyes.
I was about to say that. Hey, Mitch, clip that. So, and what I like, again, I want you to remember, just like, breath is medicine.
Okay.
Biggest inhale.
Should I take my pants off first? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're already off, actually. So mine are too. So what are we doing here, man? So again, hand on yourself wherever you feel comfortable. You can hug yourself, hand on your lap, whatever feels safe
I'm gonna
for
go
you.
hands on my lap.
Do that. And then what I want you to do is soft gaze. I want you to just take a nice deep inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your mouth. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Big inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your mouth. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Last round. Biggest inhale you've taken all day. 2. Keep going. 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Keep your eyes closed. And in this moment, I just want you to feel where your body is on the chair. Feel the weight in the seat, your feet on the floor. Just notice any sounds you hear around you. Maybe think of 3 things you're grateful for in this moment. Take one last big inhale. Hold it. And exhale. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
Felt good, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I like the cues of like, feel this chair, like just feeling your body in that space. It feels very good.
Yeah. And notice how like you're softer now.
Yeah.
Like your eyes aren't as like heavy. It just, your body just sinks into this chair a little bit more. Like my voice. Like a, I was going to say a sex talk show but voice right now, but I'm not going to say that.
I would never say
I would never say sex talk show voice right now. But like your voice just, you like, and again, that took 1-2 minutes.
Yeah.
1-2 minutes can change your life. That takes you from having an overreaction with your daughter to, hey, it's okay. What do you need right now? Right? Because you took care of yourself. And now you went from a very anxious state to a more calmer state. And I think that's the beauty of finding your breath. And like I said, breath is medicine, is because, man, like now I'm so much more present right now too.
Yeah, same.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And that's 2 minutes, dude. And I think that translates into so much. It translates into so much. It translates into if someone struggles with emotional eating. We always talk about, hey, pause before you eat. And it's like, well, that's cool, but like, that's not as helpful.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a tool that you can use to pause. When you're pausing, hey, let's find our breath. And then when you finish that, what do I actually need right now? Can you label your emotion? We talked about the feelings wheel, right? Can you actually label what you're feeling? And when we get specific with it, we find out, oh, I'm actually just really lonely right now. And I could use a friend. Maybe I'll call Jordan, right? And I think it's just really powerful. And that just starts with your breath, and it starts with pausing. And in this world, right, you've done a really good job of reducing your social media, but like we're always stimulated by something, always. And that's why I was saying, like, when you're breathing in, like, I want you to remember your body needs that. Because we sometimes reframe it as like, this is stupid. I don't have time for this. Your body needs that breath. Look at where you're at right now. You needed that, dude.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how I reframe it, is because like, it's the same thing with working out, counting calories, anything like that. It's like, I know this tool is helpful. Roll my eyes. But when I do it, I remember, oh, I needed that.
Yeah.
This was helpful, because now I carry this with everything that I do. It doesn't just stop with fitness, nutrition. It goes into relationships. It goes into your job. It goes into the podcast, right? Like it starts with that. And then if you can do that, it doesn't have to, I don't need you to do it every day, dude. I just need you to remember that you have this tool, right? Like, don't put this pressure on yourself to meditate daily. You don't have to, right? You don't have to be a monk. I don't need you to be Jordan Syatt the monk. I need you to just be Jordan Syatt, who has a tool now to regulate his emotions. And if you can just remember to do that, man, that now you're kind of living a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right? Which is my whole goal. I want to live life sooner, right? I don't want to delay it anymore. So finding your breath is like, it's medicine in that way, right? So like I said, that's what meditation does for me. It saved my life, because I was having panic attacks constantly. My blood pressure one time when I was going through that was like 180 over like 130. I went to the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack. This is when you were like, you should check your blood pressure. And I would get anxious for checking my blood pressure, dude, because I was like, I'm fucking dying, dude. He wants me to check it. I'm going to avoid this. So like, I actually went to the hospital because I saw my blood pressure.
Oh, wow.
And I thought I was having a heart attack. I get to the hospital and they're like, you're good. I'm like, $3,000 later. That's tough, man. I didn't have health insurance. I worked at LA Fitness. It was like, so that it saved my life, man. Because think about it, if you're in a constant state of stress, even if it's minor, that's taxing on the body, right? So if you think about it, you're carrying that and you carry it, and it stacks, it stacks, it stacks, it stacks, it stacks. No wonder you're having a panic attack, right? That was my realization. Like, dude, no wonder, dude. You're accumulating all this stuff. You're like a hoarder, like a mental hoarder, right? So it saved my life because I now have the tool to just find my breath, and it's cool, right? Same thing with your mobility, right? Now you get to see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
With the splits, I saw you doing behind the neck pull-ups, which is absolutely psycho move, dude, psycho. But it was cool, right? Because that's your culmination of a year plus of work, right? Same thing when you practice this. It's really cool to just notice you finding your breath sooner and asking yourself, oh, what am I feeling? Where do I feel this? And the ability to reassure yourself that you're okay, because that's what it all comes down to. It's like, hey, you're good, you're safe.
So is this how you meditate, like the box breathing, or do you have multiple methods?
I have multiple methods.
Okay.
Right? I'm fancy, dude. I'm fancy now. It's box breathing is like what I would say is like a good initiation to breathing, to finding your breath. And it's also very handy if you have kids or something like that. Like you can literally do it while you're like chasing a kid.
Yeah.
Right? It's something that, and again, it has to be practical when you're going into this stuff, because again, you think meditation, like how am I going to tell a single mom, hey, are you meditating? By the way, did you get those 10 minutes in like we
Right.
talked about?
Right.
Sharon? It's like, no, of course not, because I don't have the fucking time for that. So if we can start somewhere, it's just like when someone starts working out and now they just start eating healthy because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. If you can practice box breathing now, okay, great. Maybe your next step is guided meditation, right? Headspace is a great app for that. I've been using that for years. And it's something where they guide you through how to meditate. Like nobody teaches you how to meditate. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They teach you how to meditate. They'll start with be like, hey, take some deep breaths. Okay, slowly close your eyes. Focus on, do you feel your belly rising? Do you feel your belly lowering? And they just walk you through meditation. I think that's really important. So I would say like you could start with some sort of box breathing and then go into some guided meditation and keep it short.
Yeah.
Keep it short, because again, our job as coaches is to make sure it's sustainable. And if you go from a no meditation to straight to a 5-10 minute meditation, and then you start having this assumption like, I can't shut my brain off, this isn't for me. It's like, yeah, because your expectations are that as soon as you meditate, you should be Gandhi, right? Or Buddha, and that you should be doing it 5-10 minutes at a time. It's like, no, it's like going for like double your body weight in a deadlift.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you need to start so slow and like 1 to 2 minutes at a time. And the other cool thing is I went to a monastery a couple of years ago, which was like really cool experience. So I hung out with the monks, and it was for Lunar New Year. And they started us off by doing a mindful walk. Have you done a mindful walk before?
No, I've never heard of it.
We can do one later if you want. But a mindful walk is essentially, she just gave us simple cues, which is awesome. So she's like, I want you to, when you're walking, I want you to just notice, are you pounding the earth right now with your feet? Or are you being really gentle with the earth right now? So that just, what does that cue us? It cues us to put our heel down, step. Now I'm more intentional, like, oh, like here's my heel, here's my foot. I feel this. I'm grounded a little bit. And then she's like, I know when I'm in my head, when I'm walking, when I can't even hear the birds. And what does that cue us to? It cues us to sound and the environment, right? And now I'm looking around and I'm much more present. So those minor cues when you're walking can help. Again, let's not do this while we're walking. Let's not be on our phone. Put the phone in your pocket, right? And hey, am I beating up the earth right now? Or am I being very gentle with my step? Can I even hear the birds right now? Am I even present on this walk right now? What am I grateful for right now? This is really nice. The wind's really nice right now. The sun hitting my face. The other thing we did at that retreat, that monastery retreat, was it was the most awkward thing ever. We ate silently.
Okay.
Have you done that before?
Just like no talking?
No talking.
No. I mean, unless I'm by myself.
Right. But you're still like maybe on your phone or reading something.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so awkward because in your head, you're saying that, you're going, this is so fucking awkward. It's like, I'm staring at this person across from me eating my pho. Like, is everybody else doing, is someone staring at me right now? Like, you know how you go through all those things? And then, dude, like 2 minutes in, you get through that. And then you're like, oh, like the soup's really warm. And it has like a cinnamon flavor and like an umami taste. You start noting the textures and the flavors and the heat levels. And then you're just in that moment. Right. And I thought that was just really cool. I'm like, man, just 2 minutes of not doing anything, just eating. I'm here. All right. That's how I best describe it. I'm here. Right. And those are simple things that somebody can do anytime. Anytime. Right. And I would say like those are some really practical tools. Another practical tool I love is, have you heard of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method?
I don't think so.
I'm going to learn you today. Hey, cheers, buddy. Let me suck this olive oil down. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's 5 things you can see. So we'll do this now too. I think
Okay.
that'd be cool. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste.
Okay.
Okay. So right now, what I want you to do is I want you to, in this room, find 5 things you can see. And if you're listening to this podcast right now, you can do the same thing.
Okay.
So why don't you tell me what you see? 5 things.
I see
And
books.
be specific.
Okay. I see books.
Mm-hmm.
I see ammunition.
Okay, cool. He's cool now.
I see you.
Uh-huh.
I see.
What do you see on me?
I see your eyes.
What color are they?
Brown.
Okay. They're hazel, actually, but it's fine.
I see the heart model.
Mm-hmm.
And I see my tefillin.
I love that. Cool. I love that. Now, 4 things you can hear.
4 things I can hear. Okay. I can hear my own voice.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear that little static in the background. I can hear your voice when you talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I can hear, not in this moment, but I heard my youngest daughter out there a couple minutes ago.
Okay. I love that. Right. 3 things you can touch.
I can touch my legs.
Mm-hmm.
I can touch the table.
Mm-hmm.
I can touch the microphone.
Describe that. What does it feel like?
Legs feel nice and soft from these sweatpants.
Mm-hmm.
Table feels smooth, the hard wood.
Mm-hmm.
And then the microphone feels like whatever this material is, steel, polymer.
Mitch, what do you got?
Aluminum.
Aluminum. Love that.
Aluminium.
Great. And then 2 things you can smell.
I can smell. I don't smell anything.
Investigate.
Oh, I smell like the styrofoam on the mic a little bit, and I smell the olive oil. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, you love that.
Yeah,
you love that.
That's nice.
Thank you for that, by the way. And now 1 thing you taste.
My coffee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So, how do you feel right now in that moment? In this moment,
I feel like I'm putting effort into noticing things, which I don't know if that's the right way to feel. But yeah, I'm
hey,
like
no right
actively
way,
putting
brother. Would you miss this entire conversation?
You idiot.
Wow. Thanks for having me, dude. It's really been fun. This has been a good podcast. Really helpful. But no, it's right? Because it's cool that you notice that. It's just, those are your 5 senses, right? 6th sense, you start seeing dead people, but like 5 sense, right?
Yeah.
Like you just, that's it. You're present now, right? And that's like a simple thing you can do too. It's like, what do I see? What do I hear? What can I touch? What do I smell? What do I taste? And the effort, like you said, like it doesn't take long to do this, but it's a little bit of effort just to get you right here. Right? I think we were talking about that yesterday, how life kind of feels black and white in moments and then it feels very in color in others. And I think using these tools puts it back in color. You know, you go from like I Love Lucy, black and white to like The Office.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just one tool that just, hey, put you right here. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I use the box breathing pretty frequently. I do it a lot when I'm driving. Just like I'm trying not to. Just if I'm driving by myself, or even if I'm driving my daughter to school, to or from school, like she's just chilling in the back, I'll do some box breathing, and I'll do it before I go to bed.
Nice.
It calms me for sure. But I never looked at that as meditation. So if that's meditation, I've been doing it, bro.
It's your intro to meditation.
Okay.
It's finding your breath is like step 1 to meditation.
That's white belt.
It's white belt for sure.
Okay.
It's because again, like I think you've always said, you're like, I hate it. I can't sit still.
Do you know my story behind it?
I'd love to know.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I ever told you this.
You never told me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was really young, like probably 6, 7, 8-ish, my dad, who I don't have a good relationship with, got really into meditation. And I never told you this story?
Maybe briefly,
Man,
but
crazy.
I think everybody should hear it.
Okay. So he got really into meditation. There was this, like, I think this Indian guy, like they called him the Maharishi. And my dad had a very like, a personality where it's like when he's doing something, he's doing it, and like that's it. Like very like addictive personality. And there was this meditation mansion that he would bring my brother and I to in Lancaster. And we would go and like we would be forced to meditate at like 6, 7, 8 years old. And I definitely didn't want to do it. But it was like a forcibly, you have to do this. Yeah. And then every day we would be forced to meditate, but like, so we would be forced into our room. And if I vividly remember one specific time, I really had to use the bathroom. And I was supposed to be in my room, and we had one bathroom. So not in my bedroom. So I left my room to go use the bathroom, and I was met with an explosion of like, what are you doing? Which is sort of ironic.
Yeah. Yeah. You're dysregulated there. This is a fascinating meditation retreat. Yeah, it's not working, brother.
Crazy irony. But like, so I literally, dude, like if I had to use a bathroom, I would go in my trash can in my bedroom.
Wow.
Because like I didn't want to be met with that explosion. And then there would be other times where like he would be meditating downstairs in his office, and I might be like making too much noise upstairs. Come up, like it was one time he came out, started throwing shit at me. Like I was like, again, irony. Like, dude, you're supposed to be
right. You're like, dude, if that's what it takes, man, I'll switch.
So I know that's not it, but like that association with this idea of number one being forced into it, and then so I have that very strong negative association with it, which is one of the reasons why I've been like, fuck meditation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think replace meditation with working out in that story, right? If your dad did the same thing with exercise, you wouldn't be where you are now.
Of course. Yeah, that's right.
We wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think that speaks to a lot, because that's your origin story, right? But it doesn't have to be the story you keep telling yourself. And I think that's really important. It's now, that's what I was talking about before. It's now up to you to change that narrative. That's how I see it. It's like, don't let him take that from you. You know how powerful finding your breath is and being able to meditate? Like, man, like there's a reason all these prophets have done it over the years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so that when I hear that, it's like, I feel for you, and I'm sorry like that happened, because that fucking sucks. And it's ironic as fuck. It's crazy.
Super ironic, dude. You have to see the comedy in it.
I love it. The dark humor in me loves it. But also like it's like now you have empathy for yourself though. That's what I would implore. We talked about that last night, right? You and I. It's like having empathy. That's why we would be sucking at president, right? It's like because we're too empathetic. So for you in that case, when you try to meditate, remember that little kid in that room who was screamed at, who had to piss in a garbage, because like that little kid deserves to meditate like in a really safe way.
I like that. That's good. Don't let him take it from. Yeah, why? I like that.
Right? Why? And why hold on to that still? You know what I mean? Like, it's like same thing with your daughters. Like, don't you want them? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like, wouldn't it be cool if they saw you meditating and like dad just really like you do it in the way that you wish you were introduced to it?
Yeah.
Right? Like you're doing that with exercise. It's amazing. Like to see your daughters do like your daughter do pull-ups and stuff like that. Like that's really cool.
Yeah.
Now imagine she does meditation with you.
Yeah.
She finds her breath easier, right? Like she starts to regulate, and you start to say, you pull up that old feelings wheel, right?
Yeah.
Say, hey, what do you need right now from daddy? Right? What do you need from yourself?
Yeah.
And I think that's just really cool. So that's what I would say. Like people try to take stuff from us all the time. It's up to us to take it back and say like, no, I'm doing this, and reframe it for me. Because I want to feel safe with myself.
It's a great reframe.
Right.
Also give them the opportunity to have that tool.
Yeah. Like, isn't that what a cool tool that would be, man? Like, I mean, I'm grateful in some ways. My mom introduced me to, you ever hear of like The Secret and stuff like that?
I don't.
It's like positive affirmation.
Okay.
And, like what you put out there, you attract and all that. Some ways it's like false optimism was what kind of fucked me a little bit. It didn't help my anxiety when I felt like shit. But in other ways, it was like, man, to practice being grateful. A little footsie under the table was nice. Thank you. And then to practice being grateful and say like, hey, I'm so thankful for this moment. I'm so proud of myself for getting here. I think I would never trade that for the world, right? That's like an ingrained skill I have now, to be able to bounce back and to find really amazing moments that just like fill my soul. And my mom gave that to me. And now imagine if it was used to, make me feel like, oh, you're a bad kid if you attract bad things in your life. It's like, no, but that's not, it's all about how it's introduced to you, your relationship with it. So that's why people struggle with emotional eating and stuff like that, right? Like food is introduced to shut you up, right? Like, let's go get some ice cream so you stop crying, right? Stop being a little baby. You know what I mean? It's like, it's wild. So same thing. It makes sense why you resent meditation, why you, as soon as you start meditating, you go right back to that room as a little kid, and it's hard for you to be in your own space because you don't feel safe. You didn't have a safe environment to do that. Right. And now, as a coach too, you're the one that taught me this. You tell someone you can't do something, guess what they're going to do, bro? They're going to say, fuck meditation. Yeah. I'm going to piss in this trash can. Fuck you, dad. Right. It's like, so I think that's the important part, is your ability to reframe. I think you do a great job with this. And now that's what I would challenge you to do when it comes to this. It's like, dude, reframe that. This is yours now, right? You're an adult now. You're a dad now. You have so many amazing things in your life. Like, take that back.
I love that.
Yeah. Like, your breath is medicine, dude. When we did that for that second, you closed your eyes, like you sunk in your chair and like started talking like a sex talk. I might say that. I didn't.
I wouldn't.
I would never say that, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy to say.
Do you help your clients with, because obviously you are a fitness coach, but do you help them with breathing and meditation?
Yeah, dude. That's what's so funny is when I went through my anxiety attack stage of life, my like major depression, like my low moments in life, being in therapy and going to breathwork classes and yoga, like you just pick up tools. Like, I'm not a therapist for sure. I'm a fucking fitness coach and nutrition coach, and I just also can help you regulate, right? Like, that's how I kind of look at it. It's like, I'm giving you the tools that I never had when I started working out, that if I think I had them sooner, man, I think that I could have found my breath easier. I think that I would have really appreciated my body more. I think that I would be very grateful for the little moments that life has given me. And like, I wouldn't have used food to binge eat, I think like the same thing. You used to binge. We were former wrestlers, right? If we had these tools, right? Like you have a better chance of not emotionally eating or binge eating or overeating, because I'm not telling you to pause anymore. I'm saying, hey, Jordan, like, let's find our breath for a second.
Yeah.
And I think, like, for me, I think it's my responsibility as a coach, because I saw how going all in on fitness and nutrition gave me a great body, but it wasn't sustainable, even though I did it in a sustainable way, because I didn't have any inner work or mental health work or tools, right? Like, I think that's the part we always forget about. Dude, you don't have any tools. It's the funniest thing. I do this to all my clients, is I call it minimum mapping, right? And it's basically, let's take nutrition, let's take fitness, and let's take mindset. Okay? I want you to write down your ideal week, what your actions are, your most ideal. Think about your most motivated self. Write that down, define what those actions look like. Amazing. Usually the hardest part for people is mindset. They're like, I don't know what to write.
Yeah, I would have no clue.
No clue, right? But given the tools I just sent you, now you're like, well, maybe I have some clues of some actions I can do. And then I have them say, okay, I want you to write now, your life has just slapped you in the face, right? Just destroyed you. What are your actions for that week now? So what we do is now we're speaking out the elephant in the room, right? We're speaking out like, hey, life, because think about, dude, when people go off track, it's usually because life slaps you in the face.
Yeah.
Right? Something out of the ordinary happens, or something out of routine happens, right? Your kids interrupt your workout, whatever it might be, and then you go off track completely. Right? So if we can talk about that elephant in the room, hey, when life slaps you in the face, what's your minimum actions that you're going to do from a nutrition, fitness, and a mindset standpoint. So that way we're like, we feel good at the end of the week. It's like, man, that was a really hard week, but I still did this. I still showed up, right? And suddenly you're not restarting every Monday because now you are much more aware of your own expectations when life is really hard.
So minimum mapping is, instead of trying to do the ideal all the time, you map out what's the minimum you're going to do. And even in your worst week, you can hit those minimums.
In your worst week. Like I'm always big on minimums over motivation.
I like that a lot.
Because I tell the clients, I don't give a fuck how motivated you are.
Yeah.
Because I've seen this thousands of times. You're going to be motivated for probably, let's not even give you 2 weeks, probably like 6.5 days until the weekend hits, maybe actually. And then you're going to say, fuck it.
Yep.
Right? So why don't we just get ahead of this and say, focus on your minimums and check those boxes, because you know if you go for that 10-minute walk instead of doing nothing, that's better than something.
Yes.
If you prioritize protein every meal instead of doing your ideal, which is tracking everything, that's better than something. Right? If you do a box breathing, or you just even focus on your belly rising, your belly lowering when you're feeling stressed, that's better than something. So I think it's just really important. Hey, minimums over motivation. Like,
I like that.
I don't give a fuck if you're
That's
motivated.
genius.
Right? I think it's so much more important for us to focus on minimums, and then, hey, when you're ideal, you're gonna crush it.
Yeah.
You're gonna crush it. We know that. I know you're gonna crush
And
it.
often once you do the minimum, you get a little bit more motivated to keep going.
My man, you taught me that, right? Actions, results, motivation, repeat. That was your words, right? Like, I think that's literally what it's all about. And we talked a little bit last night about how there's a big self-trust deficit. Okay. I actually think it's not a motivation issue, right? I think motivation is kind of bullshit. I think it's a self-trust like epidemic that people have.
Interesting.
So what I mean by that, so I don't sound like a fucking quack, is that because you have not followed through on the actions you said you would do,
Okay.
you now don't believe anything you say that you'll do. It's ingrained in here. It's ingrained, right? Like whenever you start meditation, you kind of have in the seed in your head, you're like, I'm not going to do this.
Stupid.
Yeah, stupid. Exactly. Right? You're like, I'm not going to stick to this. Like, this is done. Like, Mike told me to do this. I'm like, Mike, I tried it for a week and this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, but that's sort of, your self-trust with that, because you haven't proven to yourself that you can do it. Right? So when I say, like, I believe that's the real issue over motivation, I think it's because, and same thing, take this and apply it to the dad who always tells his kid he's going to show up to his baseball game. Hey, Jordan, I want to be at your baseball game today. Empty bleachers. Sorry, Jordan, I missed that. I'll come to the next one. Empty bleachers. I'll come to the next one. Empty bleachers. You now are like, I don't fucking believe you. Like, you ain't coming at all.
Yeah.
Right? So now there's mistrust there.
Yeah.
Right? There's a distrust, or whichever one you want to use. I think they're both words, right? And then, right, Mitch? Thank you, Mitch. So now, like, so that's the mirror.
Yeah.
Right. So now remove that and put a mirror in front of you. Now it's you. Okay. Hey, I'm going to meditate for 1 minute. You don't do it. Yeah, I'm not going to believe myself. Right. So same thing is if you define your minimums and then you start doing that, well, now what are we doing? We're accumulating evidence. And what does the brain look for? Patterns, evidence, right? So if we can just accumulate more evidence, well, now we could say, like, well, actually, Jordan, remember last week you did meditate for a minute. That was pretty fucking cool. You did do that, right? You're focusing on the 6 days that you didn't do it, but you had that one day you did. So what does that tell us? You have the potential to do this, right? And that's what we're looking for. So that's what I'm saying. It's really like a self-trust deficit we got going on, that we just have to get into a surplus.
You know what I also think? We have like the self-trust deficit, which I love, that because I hadn't thought about that as much. I think it is also combined with the method trust deficit, right? So for me, with meditation, for example, and I think that we see this a lot with fitness, nutrition, whatever, you definitely have the people who are like, well, I don't trust myself because I've broken these promises to myself so many times. But you also have the people who've tried so many times and it just hasn't worked for them. So they don't actually trust the method. realistically, it probably is more that they haven't done as consistently as they think they have, which for me is meditation, right? Where it's like, I don't trust this method because the person who tried to force me to do it clearly didn't embody what it's supposedly supposed to do. And so for me, when I have that method distrust, it's not based in reality. It's based in either what was a false representation of it, or when I've gone through brief periods of trying it, I just didn't do it consistently enough to say like, okay, well, I can't actually say it didn't work because I did it for fucking 7 minutes, or I did it for like 4 days in a row. Great. Like you did 4 days, but like you didn't do it for 6 months straight to see if there was actually something there. So I think it's probably a combination of this self-distrust when you're breaking promises to yourself that will often lead to this method mistrust when it's not actually the method. It's probably your consistency with it.
Well, I love that you said that because I think it's also, I think we're great storytellers. So what I mean by that is you tell yourself a story every time you try to meditate. Hey, it didn't work before, or that I tried this and it's just not for me. And I think people do the same thing, is we get caught up in stories that actually aren't real. Like one tool I'll use in my clients is like, is this fact or fiction? Can you 100% say for certainty that you gave it your all and you tracked for this amount of time consistently, or you did this and it didn't work? Well, no. Okay. So if I was a lawyer, judge, like, this is bullshit. I'd be a good lawyer. Judge, this is bullshit. Okay. But that's how you, so fact or fiction, right? Hey, is this a story I'm just telling myself, or is this actually based in truth? And if it is, how much of it is actually true and how much am I just feeling it? Right? I think same thing, like when you started jujitsu, you had like classes before you actually got on the mat, right? Or typically they structure it like that.
What do you mean? Like,
You almost don't start sparring with people.
You definitely don't start sparring.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
You don't start sparring. What do you start with?
Drills.
Brother, you need some meditation drills. Right? It's like,
I love that. Yeah.
Right? Like, same thing. And people would, when they're doing weight loss or anything like that, it's like, yeah, the method you tried was a black belt method. Like, maybe you should have just started with having a colorful plate.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have started with that 10-minute walk with your neighbor. Like, maybe we should just see if our belly rises and lowers when we're breathing. So I think it's don't jump ahead.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, like, you hear what everybody else is doing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey man, why doesn't Jordan just start with very intentional box breathing and be thankful for his breath, remind himself he needs it, remind himself he's in control now, like this is his now. And you start there. And then you build from that.
I like that.
And don't put expectations that you should be something else. Right? I think that's really important, because that's where the other storytelling comes in. It's like, oh, I should be further along by now. Right? I should have known this by now. I should be doing this daily now. It's like, dude, I meditate, but I don't meditate daily. It's like, and that was hard for me at first, because like, I know on the Headspace app, you get a streak going.
Yeah.
And I'm a streak freak. All right? Hey, clip that, Mitch. Clip that, streak freak. And I know that like when I get a streak going, I put pressure on myself to keep that streak going. It does the opposite for me, right? It makes me anxious. I don't want to fuck it up, right? So it's progress for me not to meditate every day. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's
I like
progress.
that. No, it makes sense when you put it like that, though. I like that.
Yeah.
I also like the not putting expectations on it. Probably the best advice I got from a jiu-jitsu perspective in terms of competing was not having the expectation of winning, but going into the match just with your game plan and do your best to execute your game plan. And if you win, great. And if you lose, whatever. Did you try to execute your game plan? We could see this with fitness as well. It's like, listen, the expectation of trying to lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks is fucking stupid. What's your game plan? Our game plan. And then you can analyze your game plan. Okay, so does it make sense to be eating this few calories for the next 6 weeks? Probably not. So let's adjust the game plan. And now your goal is to hit this game plan as consistently as you can, regardless of what happens at the end of the 6 weeks, or at the end of 12 weeks, 6 months, whatever it is. So I think the removing the expectation and just focusing on the game plan and being consistent with is super helpful.
Yeah, and I think like what you talk about too is strategy. Strategies, because what is strategy? It's like it's black or white, right? Like it's do this or do that. The problem is we tie emotion into it, right? Same thing with people who are trying to lose weight. Like losing weight is really fucking simple if we think about it. It gets really complicated because you're bringing emotion into it, and maybe you have genetic factors that make it really fucking hard too.
Yeah.
Right. And environmental factors. There's multitudes of ways why weight loss is simple, but it's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
So part of that is same thing. Like if you lost that jujitsu match, you'd probably be like, oh, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, of course. I
right.
suck.
Yeah, I suck. I'm the worst jujitsu guy ever to be born. This is crazy. But like you said, it's like, hey, feel that though. Because you're fine. You're cool. Like you're competitive and like you wanted to win. It means you really wanted it. That's great. But then you can step back and say, I'm going to put this to the side and say, well, what was my strategy? What was my game plan for that match? Right. And then now you can break that down analytically and also not ignoring this shit. I think that's really important. Don't ignore the emotions because they're just waiting idle until you try it again. Except it's going to be larger because you didn't deal with it.
Yeah.
The analogy my therapist gave me once, which was really, really helpful for anxiety, was she said, I want you to imagine you're sitting on a bench and anxiety just sits right next to you. And you're just telling anxiety, like, you can't fucking sit here. Like, get off this bench right now. I don't want you here. You're bad. Like, I don't want you. And what's anxiety going to do? It's not going to move. Right? It's not going to move at all. So instead, say, hey, you're welcome to sit here. It's cool. Right? Like, I'm glad you're here. What are you here for? Oh, I'm going on Jordan's podcast and I haven't slept for the last 3 days. Great. And he changed the intro question that I've been practicing for. I was nervous.
No
dude.
way.
It's important. I think it's really important. I'm very grateful to be here. Like I said, dude, you're like one of my main mentors. And like, yeah, dude, like this is what you do on this is amazing. It's the first podcast I have with fucking box lights, brother. Got Mitch running that thing back there telling this is aluminum, right? Like it's crazy. But like, yeah, like, but that's okay though. It's okay that I was nervous.
Yeah.
Because it means a lot to me. It means I'm very grateful. It means I'm excited because I'm like, what the fuck? What if I forget everything I know on this podcast? You know, like I'm like going through my old notes and stuff like that. But like, that's okay. You know what I mean? So, but it's okay because I allowed myself to say it is okay. Right? I think you did that for me the other night. I forget what we were talking about, but you're like, oh, we were talking about anxious attachment relationships.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, that's so normal. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks for saying that. Right? Because in your mind, you're like, this is not normal. You're a special butterfly. Right? Which I know you've talked about special butterfly effect a lot. So I think just remember like, hey, let the emotions come in. It's okay. It's cool. We're talking about like how meditation helps you not judge it. It's just observing. And you're welcome to sit by me on this bench because you're probably here to remind me like, hey, last time you meditated, your dad yelled at you and it was very explosive. And thank you for reminding me that. I appreciate that. I'm okay now though. Thank you. Right? It's being able to have acceptance and peace with it and just be grateful for it. Right? Like what if we looked at emotions like that? Right? Oh, I'm so grateful I feel sadness right now because you're actually reminding me I really love this person. Right? Or I'm so grateful I'm nervous right now because like this is what I worked my whole life to up at this point. Right? It completely reframes how you view emotions and what happens with emotions. Why was I so fucked up for years? Is because I didn't let them like stay with me. I thought I was doing something wrong. Right? The old like watching The Secret and manifestation was creeping in like if you're attracting this, you're negative all the time. Right? It's like that's not true. It's very normal. It's good to have these things. And as soon as we let them, it's like, well, now I can just get back to being in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Now I can just get back to hitting my strength workouts 3 times a week. Right?
The one thing I like there when you're talking about I'm grateful to be sad or I'm grateful, and I could see people struggling. Well, why would I be grateful to be sad? The key word that you used in all these examples was because. You found the reason, and the only way you could find it is through that word because. So why in the world would I be grateful to be sad? Well, because I'm still alive, because I have more opportunities, because it means that I care. That word because can be a very helpful tool to then help you pinpoint different reasons to find gratitude in whatever you're feeling.
Well, what is because, right? Like when you say that, the first thing that pops up for me is like because is hope. It's a branch for hope, right? Instead of ending it there, period. I don't deserve to feel this, period, or I shouldn't feel this, but because I do, I get to sit next to you right now, right? Because I meditated for years and didn't retreat in my own feelings, I get to sit here right now and have this conversation with you. So like that because is just your branch of hope, right? If you didn't have that, and I love that you said that, but if you didn't have because, it's like you're missing out on hope.
Yeah.
Right? You're missing out that there is a chance for you on the other side of that because.
I love that. Let's shift gears a little bit.
Shift, baby.
You're very open about your struggles with body image.
Yeah.
Which I love how open you are about it. Can you talk about what life was like when you struggled the most with body image and how over time you've been able to develop a healthier relationship with your body?
Yeah. So lately I've been talking a lot about body image because I was telling you beginning of this year, I was just got a little bit happy over the holidays, ate a lot of food, got really bloated from that food, like descended stomach type of bloating type thing. And it triggered old patterns in me, like old body image patterns where I would start picking my body apart, right? And then you go into those mental spirals of like, oh, you're a piece of shit. Like you're a coach, you shouldn't be going through this. Like all, like shame creeps in, right? I think for me where it started, and again, love you, mom, but like diet culture stuff, really cool context is my mom growing up was bullied for her weight, right? Like her own family would call her like the fat lady of the circus and stuff like that. So I have so much empathy for my mom because she's been through so much, right? And that's where I talk about you got to take accountability at some point for what your parents gave to you because they only knew what they knew. So my mom growing up would just pick herself apart. She was always on Weight Watchers, always on a diet, doing Taibo, like, you know, in the living room and stuff like that, aggressive diets. And I was always here to pick her body apart, right? Photos, like wearing something, whatever it might be. And that just has an effect on a kid. You absorb it.
Of course.
Right? You absorb it. So I started to notice it, I think, when teenagers start working out. And I just remember being in the boys' locker room, Jockey Hollow, shout out, the boys' locker room, and people were starting about taking protein shakes. I'm like, what the fuck's a protein shake? And guys are talking about working out their biceps and stuff like that. And that's actually when I started going to the gym because I was like, I need to start doing this. These guys are taking protein shakes. Like I'm behind here. So that's when my dad started taking me to the gym. And I think my initiation to it became and not that anybody told me it should be, but it became like aesthetics right off the bat when I started working out, right? And I think that just carried over with me. You start comparing yourself, right? You have these echoes from what your mom says and how she approaches food and diet culture and all that. And then you start telling yourself stories, right? So like even when I was in college, you know, like I never felt worthy because I always felt like my worth was attached to my body. And I would go to like, I wasn't a frat, you know, tough. I was one of those frat guys, tough. Sorry, if you want to shut the podcast off now, that's Mitch, shut it off. But it's one of those things where
Which frat?
Pi Kappa Alpha.
Okay.
Pike. But I was like, I never really went to parties because I never liked to party. It was like the funniest thing, and I was just vice president, so I did all the work, but never took advantage of the parties. You know, I was like the worst frat guy. But you know, you go to parties and like there's like ABC parties. You remember those parties?
Dude, I didn't do it. I'll not to interrupt, but
yeah,
I hated frats.
Yeah,
like
fair.
And they were pretty big at my school. And I remember my like first week, everyone was like, "Yeah, we're going to a frat party," and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Walked across campus to this like they called it a highlighter party.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I walked in. I was like, this is horrible. Walked back to my dorm, and I never went to another frat
I
party.
love that, man. I wish that was me. Because I actually know I did that my first semester, and then second semester I was like, I have no friends. I think I need to pay for them, actually. Dues, 300 a month, no problem. For friendship, no problem.
300 a month?
It might have been somewhere around there.
Oh my gosh.
Not a month. No,
Oh,
that's
semester.
crazy.
Probably
Semester, yeah. But yeah, they would have ABC parties, which is anything but clothes. So you're basically like,
Jeez.
people are dressing up in like curtains or like drapes or
Togas.
togas
Okay,
type
yeah.
stuff. And I would just always be so insecure. Like I would always suck in my stomach, right? Even though I was in good shape, dude, I fucking been working out forever. I still just I didn't feel confident, right? And I always sucked in my stomach, and I would just compare my body to other people all the time. And then I graduated college, and dude, what era do we grow up in? The fucking Gymshark era, brother.
Oh, yeah.
You scroll, it's going to take you a while because I have like almost 4,000 posts on my Instagram, but like you scroll far back, I try to be a Gymshark athlete.
Were you?
brother. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
interesting.
tried. Like, not that I had a chance, but like I was doing the poses, I was shirtless in a lot of my photos and all this stuff. So for me, it's like now I'm associating fitness as Gymshark athletes.
Yeah.
And that time, I think in our industry, that was like you're really successful if you're like under a company that signs you. You have a brand
That was like
deal.
a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a big thing. And like if you're a trainer, you're like you got to get signed by somebody. Like that's cool. And so that's cool. Mitch is cool, right? That's right. That's right. So now like I'm associating that. Like now I'm like constantly analyzing my photos. I would take hundreds of photos, dude, hundreds of photos, and just pick each one apart. Be like, you can't post that. You look a little fat here. Can't post that. Your abs don't look as good here. Your biceps look small here, right? Like, even though I just crushed a workout, dude, I used to work out like a fiend, dude, like crazy, and it just meant nothing because of photo on my phone that I wanted to post to Instagram to get 13 likes, right? And if I didn't get 13, I was a piece of shit.
Deleting this one.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened from that is now I'm outsourcing external validation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm outsourcing validation here. Like it's not coming from me anymore. It's coming from, I don't think I'm worthy unless people notice how good my body is, or if they like me, or if they see me, maybe my stomach not sucked in, like they're gonna say he's an out of shape trainer, right? It's like, man, what a labyrinth of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. And now I like feel for that kid. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot to go through your head on top of everything else I was already experiencing in life, right? And I think that's one of the biggest things I learned is like, hey, like fuck the other people. Like you don't need this external validation. It took me like probably like 2 years ago. For being real, genuine, honest, like it took me a long time to say, you don't need girls to be validated. You don't need a perfect body for validation. It was something actually my therapist said. She said that because I was struggling with my self-worth. And she said, you were born with unwavering worth. She goes, and that will never change.
That's beautiful.
I was like, oh, wow. And that just like hit me. And I was like, yeah, like the only person who was changing was me. I was adjusting my own dial. And it's like, actually, that dial's fake. Your worth can never be touched. You're born with it. And I think that's one thing that has helped me is saying you're worthy regardless of how your body looks, right? You got you're safe, right? And you know the actions it takes to better yourself health-wise if you need to, right? I think the other thing you and I talked about last night is, and I just call it foo-foo, right? Because it's like most people are very science-based or very calories, this, that. And I just like, let's expand it a little bit, right? Like, hey, if I'm struggling with body image, like, yeah, great. Actions are really helpful. And that's really important. We talk about evidence, super important. But like, am I actually thanking my body for what it's actually doing? Right? So something I started to practice was if I feel bloated and I'm like, oh, catch that. Don't pick yourself apart here. And let's put our hands on our stomach and just be like, hey, thank you for digesting this food. Thank you, legs, for getting me out of bed today. Like, Thank you, arms, for being able to pick up my niece and my nephew and how strong you are, right? Like, thank you for letting me be here in this moment and breathe. It's like, even doing that, just like really like sex talk voice, if I would say that, right? And just doing that just really grounds you, and it makes you appreciate your body. I mean, how many of us have just noticed, hey, our body's just something that loses weight and gains weight? It's what most of us assume. It's like, yeah, your body just loses weight and gains weight. It's like, actually, your body is so much more cooler than that. It's so much more powerful than that. It can do some amazing shit. Look at your splits that you're doing now, right? Like, look at your behind the neck pulls are crazy. Right? It was nuts. That's so cool, right? But if I only look at the scale, if I only look at my photos, then that's all I know. Right? It's almost like if you have a house full of rooms, but I'm only in one room, I only know that room. So now what it allows me to do is just opens it up, right? I still can control my actions. Let me control what I can control. Let me catch that, bully that's trying to pick apart my stomach right now, because actually, you know what? That's not me either. I got that installed early edition me, and I'm uninstalling that, right? I'm taking back that. Right. And I'm thanking my body for what it does. I was joking with you last night. It's like, it's so normal for us to write 1,000 thank you cards because you had people you didn't even know at your wedding, but you can't say thank you to your stomach. You can't say thank you to your body because it's gotten you through your hardest days. Like, think of your hardest day, and your body was just there to show up for you regardless. I think that's just the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you've been with me through my hardest shit. You've endured my panic attacks. You've gotten me through grief, seen my friends die. Like, you've been there for me for all of it. And you never complain once, right? You've only just been there to say, hey, I'm here for you today, right? I think that's how I really try to reframe body image now. And I'd say that like it's simple, but it's really fucking hard. I want people to know that. Like, it's not something that you do one day and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm the best. I'm the best. Like, you don't do that. You know what I mean? It's like you show up each day. Just show up, right? Maybe progress for you is just catching yourself bullying yourself. Cool. It's a good place to start. Then maybe the next time you catch yourself and you're like, oh, this isn't right. I'm proud of myself for doing this. So start in baby steps. And also, like, man, that quote for you were born with unwavering self-worth. Like, you are like, absolutely. Like, you got this. You're good. Nothing can take that away from you. Not a good body. You don't need a good body to have worth, right? What is a good body? No, it's like fucking, we don't even know, right? Like, you have worth in all aspects of your life. And if you just remember that, well, now you're going to show up better, right? And you're going to show up as that person who's like, yeah, I am that fucking person. Like, I am good, right? And you can't take this away from me, right? Like, same thing, go back to your dad. Like, you feel like that got taken away from you? Like, nah, motherfucker. You can't take that from me.
Yeah. I like that you were honest about, like, it's taken you years to develop it. And, like, even if someone scrolls back through your Instagram, and your Instagram will be in the show notes for people to go follow you. But, like, they can see at your most jacked, your most shredded, and then just from this conversation know that, like, you still weren't mentally or emotionally in a good place, and it has less to do with how you look or how you present yourself on a given day, and more about what you're willing to accept and appreciate.
Yeah. Well, what did we talk about? Like, I just went through like a recent, like, we'll call it like a re-triggering at the beginning of this year. Right? I just struggled at the beginning of this year. Right. So I think and like, same thing with, like, we used to struggle with binge eating, right? It's like, can I reduce that was the first time I struggled with body image in a while. Right. So great. Like, that's progress. I reduced the frequency of struggling with body image. But also, like I said, like, that's also ties into vulnerability. Do you know how fucking scared I was to share, like, my photos when I was really bloated? Because I'm supposed to be a fucking trainer and coach. Or to say I suck in my stomach, dude. Like, that's like, that's heavy. You know what I mean? And it's like, and same thing, like, my intention with that is just like, this is what I do. And I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that out loud. And if you happen to struggle with the same thing, cool. Like, we can bond over that, right? And we can work with each other to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. You could try this. Something you're doing, great. Like you can now build a community of people, just like your inner circle, right? It's like now you have a community of people who have a common goal, and now we can offer each other resources for that.
Do you feel like the style in which you train has impacted positively or negatively your body image?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We talked about this last night. Yeah. Because remember when I first started training with my dad, it was mostly like he'd show me machines and then I would just go in the corner and do bicep curls. Cool leg curl machine, Dad. I'm going to go hit some curls, right? Because the girls like the curls, right? So then I transitioned to sports, or I got into football. And my mentor, Carl Bodner, best mentor I ever had, like literally took me under his wing because he knew my grandfather. My grandfather used to be a principal of our school, like an educator, teacher, amazing man. Carl Bodner, amazing man. Like I always loved that guy. Took me out, we'd have football weightlifting sessions. And before all those weightlifting sessions, I would actually train with him. So I would do like a 2-day.
Oh,
lift.
wow.
But he would before every lift, he'd give me like a peer-reviewed research article. Be like, hey, here's something on nutrient timing that I want you to read, and like print out a packet and give it to me. He would write all my workouts for me.
That's awesome.
Print out all my workouts for me. And he was like 65, 66 when he was working me out. And he would absolutely kick my ass, dude. And at the end of all those workouts, he would just be like, how's that for an old man workout? And then he'd hand me an orange and a Gatorade. Right? Like, amazing. Like, like, that was my first encounter with give without any expectations, which is why I always gravitate to you, because that's always been your mantra, give without expectations. And that style of training was performance-based. Sure, like, you're a high school student, like, I still want to get a girlfriend. That's cool. But like, I'm also so focused on how can I improve my 40 time? What's my 3-cone shuttle drill speed? How many bench press reps am I getting? What's my deadlift? What's my squat? Am I able to, backpedal better when I'm playing defense? Can I make cuts better when I'm on offense? Like, am I strong enough to endure tackles? Like, that's the stuff you start focusing on more when you're playing sports, right? So during that time, like, there's probably some body image stuff just because you're a teenager and you're navigating a lot in school. But like, my focus with training was that. And I think that's really important. When I transitioned out of school, it was aesthetics. Because what else do you do once you're not playing sports anymore? It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? You found powerlifting.
Yeah.
I never wanted to do powerlifting.
You did?
No, dude, because
You would have been so good.
yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, boost my ego. Because I think I told you this last, it's a big reason why I haven't done jujitsu or anything like that, is because I don't like getting hurt. And I also don't have a urgency to lift as much weight as possible. And that's because I tore my shoulder. Right? So when I went through that injury, that rehab process was grueling. I was like, I don't want to get hurt again. Like, that sucked. I'd rather be very functional and just like look good naked. Like, that's cool. But yeah, so I think, for you found powerlifting, I basically, like, everybody at my gym was doing bodybuilding. So you kind of gravitate into that circle a little bit. And that definitely was like putting gasoline on a body image fire.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and we both coached athletes, former bodybuilding people who are just like all fucked up.
Dude, it's the worst.
It's the worst. Which is like, so my girlfriend right now, she does bikini comps, but she has such a good relationship with food and realistic approach about it that at first I was like, like, I don't want to work through this. Like, that's going to be brutal. But like, she has such a good relationship with it and she doesn't want to do it forever. I was like, cool, great.
That's
like, love that. That's a great approach to good intention with it. But with me, with that stuff and like the Gymshark era, like all that, like, it became so much about how my body looked. And that is like, we talk about data. Dude, that's really hard to find data for how your body looks all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, powerlifting, your numbers and you have a goal and when you accomplish that goal. Bodybuilding, it's like, I feel flat right now, or my muscles aren't as good, or like
comparing to someone else.
Oh, like, that's the game, dude.
That's literally it.
That's the game, brother. And that just, again, fuel, like gasoline on fuel. Nope. Gasoline on fuego, my man. Right, Mitch? It's crazy. It's crazy. So absolutely and that's why I actually changed part of the reason why I changed my current training now is because before it was always like look good naked, great, still a cool goal. Like everybody wants to look good naked to some extent or feel confident, but like I also didn't want to be injured anymore. That was like my pattern. We
Isn't
talked
that
about last
ironic
night.
though? How like you didn't want to do these other types of training because you were scared of injury, but
Yeah.
then when you only train like as a bodybuilder and then you
Yeah.
go back into athletics, you get injured.
Dude, crazy. I love that you said that because that was a brain bust for me, right? Like a Jimmy Neutron brain blast. But so true. I mean, like focus because what's ideal for bodybuilding? It's like machines. It's like like not having to stabilize yourself or your own body, like holding on to something to stabilize you.
You
And like
find the most stable, isolated movements to target that one individual muscle, so that muscle will grow.
right.
And then you adjust your nutrition so you can lose fat, so that that muscle is more defined.
Yeah, that's it,
That's
dude.
it.
That's
There's
it.
there's not athletic movement. There's not change of direction. There's not seeing your it's it's not even celebrating your performance. It's the celebration is around how you look.
Mm-hmm.
And which can change based on how you feel.
Brother, you look at the moon, you bloated. It's crazy. It's fucking nuts, dude. But yeah, I mean, what, dude? It's the difference between me doing seated leg curls versus me doing like good mornings or like Nordic curls, like stuff that's gonna bulletproof my knees and make me feel better and also be like, holy fuck, that was hard. Versus like changing a pin on the machine.
Yeah.
You know? So it makes a big difference in how you train and your intention with training. That's probably the most important thing is your intention with it. Like, because again, we've known some people who might have a good relationship with doing those bodybuilding exercises, more like stable exercises, all that stuff. But it's like if your intention is aligned and you're having real honest talks with yourself, then you'll probably be good, right? But also what I feel like, I don't know about you, but I tend to see people from that industry going to like high rocks or like more performance based stuff afterwards.
Yes.
I think you look at like C-Bum right now and he's doing a lot of like athletic movements
Yes.
now, you know? And I think that's as we get older too, like I don't know about you, my goal has always been, if you ask like when I was interviewing for Fox as a personal trainer for them, the person I was interviewing with, Carissa, she was like, "What's your goal? Like, what do you want for why do you work out?" And like most of these people are looking for like, "Whoa, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I want to be big like him," or like it's like I was like, "Oh, I want to be an active father one day.
Yeah.
I just want to be active and mobile and be able to like play with my kids and stuff like that." And I said that when I was like 24. Right? Which is fucking weird because it's like, how is this 24-year-old already thinking like this?
Yeah.
But like, that's kind of always been my North Star. Whenever I stray away from that North Star, things trigger up again. Right. So that's why I think it is so important. Your style of training, your intention, how you speak to yourself, how you look at your photos, all that stuff, it all matters and it all accumulates. And if you're not having a real honest talk with yourself, you got like a major, major mental horde coming your way.
Personal records in the gym don't matter as much when your goal is based around how you look. And when you're comparing yourself to how someone else looks. Like you could hit a bench press personal record, but it's like, but I still don't have pecs like that dude. Or it's like you could hit a personal record, but I still don't look like her, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whereas when your goal is performance based, when you hit a personal record, no one can take that from you. You can't take that from you. It's like you did that. You got better, and the proof is right there. It becomes much easier to celebrate yourself and your effort, and that you stuck to the game plan when the goal is more performance based. And then often I think aesthetics will come with that. But then I also think we need to be very honest about what is a realistic and healthy aesthetic. Right? And I think that the Gymshark era, or even now in like the peptide era, where it's like people are taking a whole bunch of drugs and we see these insane transformations, and then you're comparing yourself to people who are artificially enhanced. Is that a good goal to strive for? And yeah, so
Can I ask you a question?
yeah, go for it.
Because you always talk about your body, your powerlifting days,
Yeah.
and how you were like ripped up,
Yeah.
right? So you were doing an actual performance sport, but did you have body image stuff like during that time, or even maybe when you left it, looking back at like saying like, wow, I was in great shape then, and maybe try to strive for that again?
During that time, dude, I was shredded and like the most muscular I've ever been. But and I think it's normal, especially in any when you're at any I was gonna say higher level, but really any level, to compare yourself to other people. I didn't have anywhere near as much anxiety or fear or lack of appreciation for how I looked. It was always comparing to like I was looking at Lamar Gant's deadlift, like just the best deadlifter of all time. But I've had periods where I was more focused on aesthetics, and when I look at the continuum of my happiness or my joy versus my anger or sadness or like lack of appreciation, my bodybuilding days were like the peak of appreciation, because I could see just getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And I had my own issues for sure, but compared to when I was focused on aesthetics, it's just it's not even close. It's not even the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Now I look back at pictures of when I was powerlifting, I'm like, damn, dude. I was like, I definitely didn't see myself for how I was, but I still appreciated myself
Right.
back then. There was no like, I was never like, oh, I wish I could get rid of this here. Or, and there were times like, yeah, sure, I wish it'd be nice to have bigger biceps or bigger shoulders, but like, I never changed my training for it because it didn't make sense based on my performance goal. It was like everything was about my performance. And so even if I would have a moment like, it'd be nice to have this, but it's not worth it. It was very quick for me. It's just not worth it because it's not going to help me with this goal that I have. Whereas when everything is aesthetic based, you can justify doing really horrible shit to yourself. You can justify starving yourself. You can justify spending way too long in the gym, doing way too much cardio, just doing outrageous amounts of volume, punishing yourself. It's so that I had a very healthy relationship with my body back then, even though like that level of training is objectively unhealthy. I didn't miss a workout for 5 years.
Yeah.
Because my goal was to have this insane level of strength, like world-class level strength. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think any elite athlete in any sport, I don't think that type of training is healthy. Whether we're looking at baseball players, powerlifters, bodybuilders, marathon runners, I don't think that's health. That's performance, and there's a distinct separation there.
Yeah.
Now I look back at my old pictures, I'm like, bro, you were fucking...
You were pretty diesel though.
And then at the same time, I'm like, oh, it'd be I say, oh, it'd be nice to look like that, but then I immediately like, but it's not worth it.
Not worth it. I love how you've always said that. Like
Yeah.
you've always talked about the last 10 pounds is actually worth it.
Yeah.
Is that from personal?
Yeah.
So what was that like then?
When I was so focused on maintaining this insane level of leanness, my life objectively sucked. I couldn't enjoy my favorite foods, which would then inevitably lead to binge eating, more body dysmorphia. I would like go out with my friends and they would get ice cream and I just wouldn't eat it. And I would lie and say that I'm just not hungry, when in reality it's a fear of, God forbid, gaining a few pounds or getting fat from having the ice cream. The living life in that body of that 10 pounds lighter and having a worse life made it very objectively clear to me that it's just not worth it. And even like now I can say, oh, it would be nice to look like that. But then I think, okay, what would my life be like? Oh yeah, not worth it. I'd rather have a little bit extra chub.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Chubby hubby. My favorite ice cream.
I would, if I'm given the two options, all right, so like I think most people will look at the end result but they don't think about the cost. So for me, I'm very much like, okay, so here's the end result that in my mind right now, I think I'd like to have, but I know the cost associated with it. It's just, okay, yeah, just not worth it. Sort of like if I'm buying a plane ticket, I'm like, okay, I would like to sit in first class. That would be really wonderful. That would be really nice. Is it worth the cost and what I'm going to have to give up on what I'm spending? Like, I'm not able to buy X, Y, or Z for my wife or for my daughters, or am I going to be short on the mortgage? Oh, nope, not worth it. I'd rather sit in economy for a few hours rather than like sit in first class for what? Like, I would definitely feel better when I got off the plane. Might not be as cramped, but like, just not worth it. Or like, and that's for more like domestic flights. If I'm going to travel internationally at this point, I'm like, it's way more expensive.
Yeah.
But if that's going to cause me to have a worse experience when I'm traveling abroad because now I feel like shit from that flight.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's worth it now.
Yeah.
So I can objectively look at the end and then I say, what's the cost? And then I can say, is that cost worth it? But that's from personal experience.
Is that something you've always done? Is that you've always been and these, like, you've just had these solo conversations with yourself? Or was it something where somebody said something that prompted you to start looking at either your body image or your approach to fitness at that time objectively?
I think it's probably more just how I've been, just like, but I also have always run experiments on myself.
Yeah, you have.
So I think I've gained a lot of experience through self-experimentation that has allowed me to have these objective conversations. I usually don't like taking other people's word at face value, and I don't want people to take my word at face value. I want you to, so when someone says like, hey, how do I lose the last 10 pounds? I'm not going to say you shouldn't. I'm going to say, here's what you need to consider. The only person who can figure it out is you. Sort of like we were talking about yesterday with Adderall. Like, I had a horrible experience with it. It was not good for me. But when you said you were thinking about taking it, I wasn't going to say, don't do it. Like, okay, like here's, just be aware of what potentially might happen.
Right.
And then you can decide, is this worth it or not? And you objectively made it, it's not worth it for you. So I think that's just how my brain works. I think realistically, I think my mom was probably a huge help with that of just, hey, let's talk about it. Let's analyze this.
Analyze that.
Yeah, analyze this, analyze that. Don't tell anybody I'm talking to a shrink.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What does your training look like now?
It's super athletic. I work out. I do 3 full body days right now, which before I was doing an upper, a lower, an upper, lower type split. And I don't know, dude. I was like, man, I used to train when I was talking about my old mentor in high school, it was all full body stuff.
Nice.
I love full body.
Like Ben
man.
Bruno a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Ben Bruno.
He's the man.
I love Ben Bruno.
I love that guy.
And let's just shout out everybody we love. I got a list actually. Yeah. But yeah, dude. So I do 3 full body workouts right now, and then I have 1 workout that's like a pump workout.
Oh, nice.
It's just like arms
fun
and stuff. Yeah, like for aesthetics, right? So it's almost like it meets me in the middle.
I like that.
But I have the full bodies all. So like I start with ISO work for like my knees and my back just to build stability and strength.
Like isometrics?
Isometrics,
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
So I'll hold like a lunge position, or I'll do like lateral hops and stuff like that. I'll do box jumps, I'll do broad jumps, and then after you do the jump, you go into the next broad jump. So it's a lot more performance based, and then I'll hit like safety bar squats, and then I'll do like overhead presses and stuff like that has crazily like gotten rid of my pain, which is really cool. When I was doing like the hypertrophy, like this is the best, I was doing lateral raises all the time, brother. I was and if it wasn't a lateral raise, it was an incline lateral raise or a prone lateral raise, like just a different variation. And my shoulder kept breaking down. No shit, dude. You weren't doing any overhead press, right? You're only in one plane. So just doing things like that. I used to always say, like, I can't do squats. It's going to hurt my back. I was just do leg press instead. It's like, well, that's an excuse. That's stupid. And now I'm squatting, and my body feels good when I squat. And I'm running, right? So I'll do like easy zone 2 runs like a couple days a week. I do there's like a track club in San Diego where I am. I'll go to the track, and they usually do like, I think I've been doing like 400 sprints.
Nice.
You rest for like 90 seconds, then you hit another 400. So like conditioning work. And I'm like, dude, I love the smell of a track.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if you guys did it for wrestling, but like for football, we'd have like morning runs and stuff. And the smell of a track in the morning, dude, it just hits me in a way. It's just so nostalgic.
No, we would run the stairs
Stairs in the pool.
Not the pool.
Oh.
You had a pool at your school?
Yeah, we had a pool in the school. Yeah, I would
you?
wear a garbage bag into the pool.
Wait, did you have a pool in your school?
Yeah.
It's the most Connecticut thing I've ever heard in my
Welcome to
life.
Connecticut, baby. You were in Boston. Boston's supposed to have the best education in the country, so fucking peasants. Sorry you didn't have a pool class, brother.
Did you have a class, swimming class in school?
Yeah, freshman year you had to take a pool
No
class
way.
where they taught you how to swim.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool. Like pool was cool, but for wrestling we used to go into that room because it was hotter, more humid, and I would throw a fucking garbage bag out and just start stupidest shit ever. But yeah, for football we had a track, and like early morning you'd hit the track, and like it's just like there's something about showing up to a track before everybody else is awake that makes you feel so much cooler than everybody else. Which is what life's all about. Forget everything I just said. This is what life's all about.
You should always be comparing yourself
always,
to other people,
dude. Always.
superior.
Forget that noise, dude. Crazy. But like, yeah, so now I'm like going back to a track, and it just feels good, dude. Awesome. It just feels good to run, and also to be around other people who have similar goals and meet people that way.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about this the other night. I haven't drank in like 3 years, and moving to San Diego, I literally quit drinking that January. I moved to San Diego, January 1st. And it is so hard to meet friends, dude, when you don't drink.
Yeah.
Drinking's in everything now. So what I had to do was I had to say, well, what do I really love to do? Well, I love working out, right? I'm a meathead for sure. I love to cook. Cool. I'll take some cooking classes by myself. Well, I love playing sports. Great. There's intramural sports here that I can play. And that really allowed me to find a community.
I love that.
That has nothing to do with drinking, even though people drink and they'll drink around me. They'll be like, why aren't you drinking? I'm like, bro, I don't fucking drink. And they're like, that's awesome. At this age, they're like, that's awesome. I wish I didn't drink. Right? It's not like before where they're like, you fucking bazoozy. Like, what are you doing here? It's like, now they're like, that's cool, dude. So yeah, so like now it's much more like the track workouts. Like you just you form a great community that way. And yeah, so like my workouts, like I'll do some runs, I'll do some air bike, which sucks, dude. Brutal. But at the end of it, I'm like, I feel really cool. Like, I'm dying, but like I'm not dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm still here. And like it's also been cool to watch my resting heart rate slowly go down.
Yeah.
Just to, like, my heart's more efficient.
Yeah.
I don't get winded as easily, and you know, like my workouts take longer, but like I feel better.
Yeah.
You know, I'm also in the stage in my life. I don't have 2 kids like you. I'm no kids, and I have so much more time. So I'm like, I'm gonna commit to that now while I have the time to do all this. You know,
and to bring this up, you're in a relationship.
I am.
It's a long distance relationship.
It's long distance,
which I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I know you said you want to discuss it.
Yeah.
The other aspect of that is like there's a lot with long distance.
Yeah.
But on one of the aspects of long distance that can be nice is you also now have more time to prioritize yourself.
Yo. Yeah.
Right?
Yo, yeah.
Right? Where it's like when it's not long distance, there can be pressure to be like, okay, well now I need to this many days a week, we need to be doing this. And it's great if you have someone who also loves working out, because then you can do that shared. But if it's not the same, or maybe you have different style workouts or whatever, it's nice when you're long distance, because like, yeah, the majority of my time I have my own schedule. Like I can do my own thing.
How long were you and your wife long distance for?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, yeah. And let's talk about it, because I would imagine you get it just like I got it, where it was long distance doesn't work. It's like it's good luck.
Yeah.
Like it's really bad. And I always laughed because I was like, everyone's saying long distance doesn't work, but I know a lot of people who have very close relationships, like geographic, like they're in the same area. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work very well. I think there were many great parts about long distance and many challenging parts. It was really difficult as well. But one of the best parts, and that you and I spoke about last night, was that it forces you to communicate, to not rely on the physical, not rely on. I think a lot of people stay with someone they shouldn't stay with because the physical is good, and it's also very convenient. Whereas long distance is literally the opposite of convenient.
Mm-hmm.
It can be expensive. It can be emotionally difficult because you can't be with the person that you want to be with. But now it forces you to put in effort to communicate and get to know them and who they are, which I think is the foundation of an incredible relationship. And I think a lot of people, especially in these close distance relationships early on, it's easier to overlook differences in moral values and differences in beliefs because maybe the physical is so good and because it is so convenient.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's easy to justify things that you would never put up with otherwise.
Yeah.
So I think long distance really puts you in a position to say, hey, and maybe that's why so many long distance do fail, because you're exposed to it much sooner. So it's almost a good thing where it's like, great, this isn't what I need.
Yeah.
Whereas the in-person might last much longer than it should have. And now you've wasted a lot of extra time.
Mm-hmm. I love that you said that. Like the image that came to mind for me is like, you know, those like black top courts where you play basketball and stuff like that. It's always cracks in it, right? Bunch of cracks. They don't take care of it. But I imagine like physical, when you have like a close distance relationship, the physical almost like fills in those cracks temporarily.
Yeah.
They're still there.
Yeah.
Right. The root of why those cracks show up are still there. But because you're able to almost glide over it, right, and fill it in at times with just like a physical touch, or you know, maybe I'll show up with flowers for you randomly one day or something like that. It's like it can almost elongate what a relationship might normally be because you have sex more frequently, or like you could do certain things that keep the relationship at a surface level, but it's comfortable because you're okay with that surface. I think the long distance has taught me that there is no surface level. You can't have a surface level relationship if you're long distance.
Correct.
That's something my girlfriend and I say all the time, is when we feel like maybe we've been working a lot or we FaceTime, it's just like the how are yous and the how you doing. It's like we both feel that lack of depth when that goes on too long, which is why it's really important to dive into deep conversation, to really be able to get to the nitty gritty of the person that you are dating, and to do that from a communication standpoint, and to know how they want to be loved. That's not physical. I think that that's crazy, right? If I can love you without ever touching you and know how you like to be loved without that physical touch, like that's really important.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be times in our relationship, like maybe there is distance physically, or maybe like when your wife has a baby, like you can't be intimate at certain points during that time, right? And it's really important that I know how to love you and show you that I love you when those moments happen. It's also really important, like for me, I tended to be more anxiously attached in relationships in the past. Like I think that's just because that's my mental, like in previous is always worrying, right? And if there's silence, do I need to fill that silence? Like, but that all stems from me, right? So knowing that, like, I just get constantly triggered all the time in that relationship, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. They always say that relationships are basically a mirror for you, right? Because trust me, dude, I spent years being a playboy and years avoiding shit, for real. That's just the real deal, right? Like avoiding and not committing, right? And eating excuses, right? Like I would always be like, oh, I just moved to New York. Like it's new. Like I want to experience New York, right? It's like, and then he was San Diego. It's like, I want to experience San Diego. It's like, there's always something, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, there's always something. So what are we going to do about that? When are you going to grow up? When are you going to learn this lesson, right? Because you keep going down this, like, I would just keep finding myself feeling empty in relationships. And that was because of course you're going to feel empty. You're not building an emotional connection with anybody.
Yeah.
You're just in bed, out of bed. That's it. Right. And you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Like we talked about vulnerability. I was super vulnerable in some aspects of my life, but like when it came to relationships, like not at all. So that's something I had to learn. And the anxiously attached stuff, like it's a lot of my own insecurities that come up for me. Right? Like if my girlfriend doesn't answer me, it's like, well, it doesn't mean she's doing something wrong. It just means she's not answering you right now.
Right.
And that's fine. Right? And you're good. You're safe. It's like keep coming back to like, hey, you're good. You're safe. You're fine.
Yeah.
right? You'll talk to her when you talk to her.
Yeah.
And that's really important for me to go through right now, because if it was in person from the get-go, I wouldn't have to work through that.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
I would have never had to work through that or had to communicate that I was feeling these things. So I'm really, and we go back to reframing with that. Like, I had to really reframe, like, dude, this is really good for you. This is probably the best thing that could happen for you. I was the same person, be like, fuck long distance relationships, dude. It was like I had a list of like non-negotiables, and that was like one of them.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like no long distance relationships.
No long distance relationships, because I think the way my last relationship ended, I had much more clear idea of what my values were. And I just didn't want it to be hard from the get-go. You know what I mean? Which is like silly to say out loud, but like, I was like, that was really hard. I'd rather not be so hard.
Yeah.
At least with certain things. And to me, it was like, long distance is pretty hard from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
It's much harder.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that I went to Aram's fitness conference, Real Coaches Summit, and there's a karaoke night, and I happened to sit next to her, and I happened to meet her in person, and it was amazing. And then when I asked her where she was from, she's like, Canada. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, God's really like, it's a good joke, God. That's very funny. Yeah. Well, where's my whiteout
I
here?
could do a long distance relationship.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll compensate here. And dude, it's. But you know what? I just found out that my values for other stuff was so much more important. Like my values for emotional intelligence, emotional awareness. How's your ability to create a safe space? How's your communication? Like, do you want kids? Do you want to get married? Are you ambitious? Are you secure with your own self to an extent, right? Like, those values became so much more important to me than the non-negotiable of long distance. And when I found a person, she's amazing. Like, when I found a person that was that, I was like, I don't care. I'll try. If you were on the other side of the earth, I would travel for you.
Yeah.
That's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
And you're not stopping me from seeing you at some point. At some point.
I mean, in no other scenario, especially we can bring it to fitness, would you just say, I'm not going to do this because it's difficult, especially if the end result is worth it?
Yeah. And I've definitely said that. I'm not going to come off as this high and mighty guy. There's been some air bike conditioning that I skip because I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Yeah. I'm not doing that today.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I mean, it is so true. And but that's why it's so important to know your values. I didn't know my values before. Like I said, I'm really grateful for my last relationship because I finally learned what I wanted. And I finally had to face the person that I wasn't in alignment with the things I said I wanted. That was really, really important. Dude, I was like, I had a moment where I was like, dude, you are not who you say you are. And that's really powerful. I think, like, in the fitness realm, I know who I am. In therapy roles, I know who I am. Like, family, all that stuff. I know who I am. I back that up. With relationships, I wasn't backing it up, dude. And I could tell my old boss I wanted to be a father one day when working out, but like, I'm avoiding that commitment, So I had to really face myself after my last relationship to understand that these actions aren't in alignment and these actions are. And you actually have to work on this thing. But you know what you also have to do is you have to get into a relationship, because that's the only way you're going to have to actually see what you have to work on. Yeah. Right? Like, that mirror just gets reflected on you. You're actually like, oh, I'm not as patient as I thought. Or when you're messy, it drives the fuck. Like, I'm fucking crazy right now. How about we put a dish away, huh? Like, this is crazy.
Are you like super clean?
I think I am, dude.
Are you?
I'm not like OCD clean.
Okay.
But I'm like, let's make sure the house looks nice at the end of the day. Like, because it I hope my girlfriend's listening, actually. We'll talk about this later, actually.
Is she not like that? She's like cool with a dish in the sink?
She's very if I'm like, hey, can we clean up together and like stuff like that? Like she's like, oh yeah, but she's also the person I'll yeah. Hey, how about we clean up?
You know that song?
Of course, dude. I was a kid.
So funny. Oh man.
Of course, I was a human being. But like she's the type of person that as soon as we get in the house, like she'll just put her clothes on the floor and they stay there. I'm like, oh, looks like somebody melted here. And like, thank God she's like loves that and like laughs at that because like pretty passive aggressive.
Looks like somebody melted.
Whoa, somebody melted here. Crazy. In the bathroom too, huh? All over. Yeah, dude. Absolutely wild. And yeah, dude, like that's the kind of person I am, dude, where it's like I just find that, hey, my mental health is a much better space when things are just like organized and clean. And but same thing though is I had to not be passive aggressive about that. Right? Like one of the things we talked about, she's like, sometimes I'm not sure if you're trying to communicate or you're making a joke. And I go, that's fair. I go, because it's both. It's very much both. Like it's a very funny joke, but it's also I'm serious about it. And she's like, hey, maybe next time start with the serious.
Yeah.
Or start with the joke. And she goes, and then say something serious.
But seriously?
Yeah, but seriously, like it does bother me when it's not tidy and you don't put your dish away, right? Like that's very serious. I'm not joking about that. But like those are things that you don't really know until you're with somebody. Right? Like
dude, that's so funny.
If somebody's not tidy, it triggers a part of you. And you're like,
I'm not tidy, bro.
I know.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You know I'm not?
Brother. Your wife runs this house, dude. I've also seen how you used to live in New York.
Yeah,
and like you're a schlub.
Yeah.
Is that the Jewish word? Schlub?
Schlub.
Schlub.
Yeah,
you're a schlub, dude.
Yeah. I can function in whatever. Like there could be clothes everywhere. I'm just, yeah. But I have gotten better.
Okay.
Mainly out of guilt.
Shame and guilt is the best motivator.
No, you know what it is? Is because my wife does run the house. But like I feel bad because my natural is like, I'll just leave this here. But I know now if I leave it here, she's just going to do it. And she's so sweet. She won't say anything. She won't be mad. She won't say, can you please?
Yeah.
So I feel guilty. So that guilt gets me to be more like, all right, I'll just pick this up because I don't want her to do it.
Right. Is that a conversation you've had with her where you're like, hey, like, how do you want me to like help
Literally
you out?
never.
Never.
We've never had that conversation.
Interesting.
She's like, I think it's such a good partnership. There are things that like I take care of that like it's just that's my job.
Right.
I'm just gonna do it.
Right.
And like it's not a conversation of like, hey, this is your job, this is my job. It's more like I'm more than happy to.
Right.
And for her, I think she's just more than happy to be like, I'm more than happy to do this.
Yeah.
But like now I feel guilty.
Yeah.
For if I leave things out. Good.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. So that guilt has been like, all right, just go. Don't just like. It's funny. Like, she would take videos like as a joke.
Yeah.
Like in our New York apartment, like she'd be like, "This, look at what my husband like. He walks in the door and like socks off, shoes off,
Melting,
pants off,
dude.
shirt off, just a line of it." And
where'd he go? Jordan.
So now I'm like, but like my one space, like you walk into my office, it's like Mitch, every time he comes in, he's like got to pick
He
up.
cleaned you to the start of this, dude. He literally took out your empty bottle of olive oil and like a Fresca. And I was like, he's like, this is just what I do. I tidy up before I come in here. I go, there's no way, dude. When's the guilt for Mitch going to kick in, dude? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, it hasn't kicked in.
It has not kicked in.
And it's bad because like the night before, I'm like, I should pick this up. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
So the Mitch guilt hasn't kicked in yet. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
Yeah. Hey, communication's great. Communication's great. Well, dude, that's why I'm so proactive about communication now.
Yeah.
Like even that stuff, I'm like, hey, like this really irks me, and like I would appreciate it if you like help me tidy up.
Yeah.
Right. Or even vice versa. I'm like, hey, like what tends to irk you, or like what do you see, like what do you assume my role is in this house? Right. When I stay with her, like what are you assuming my role is, or what are my duties are, or anything like that? Because I think with relationships too, there's so much like Houdini going on where it's like, I'm supposed to be a mind reader and just assume you want me to do this, right? But like, why not tell me?
Yeah, that'd be so much easier.
Yeah, hey, if you just told me what you wanted, that'd be great. But like, I can do that too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, same thing when I was listing out my values, like, you can't have those values if you're not bringing those values to the table.
Yeah, correct.
Right? So same thing, if I want a tidy space, I need to communicate that I want a tidy space. And I also have to have some patience too, because that's what a relationship is. It's like there's going to be some days she melts right at the door, right? And I'm going to pick up those clothes and throw them in the laundry basket. And like, hey, remember what we talked about. Hey. But like, yeah, that's just like, and that's what I only learned that because, like I said, my last relationship, I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, last relationship, I was like, I said I was vulnerable, but like there were moments I wasn't. There was so many conversations I could have had and been the one that initiates a vulnerable conversation. So it's like you kind of learn and apply from relationship to relationship.
Yeah.
Of what you learn. And then when you're in a new relationship, it's a whole new lesson.
Yeah.
You know?
I think another thing about the on one hand, yes, communicate, this is what I would like, We've been married for like 6 years now or so. And I think earlier on in relationships in general, it's like, yes, like I want to make sure like this is what I want, this is what I need, etc. But at least in our experience or my experience, also a lot of it is learning like, hey, I know this is easier for you or whatever, and if you don't do something that I would prefer, I'm not gonna get mad about it. It's gonna be like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like learning to be like, I don't need you to be perfect
Yeah.
for everything that I say I need.
Right.
It's like Josh Smith has this amazing battery analogy where it's like, maybe you come home and one day you're at like 20% and like you just don't have the battery to do this extra shit. It's like, it's okay. Go rest up your battery. I'll take care of it for you.
Yeah,
you know?
I got you.
It's like I think a lot of people, this idea of like, if you don't love me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best type bullshit. I hate that.
You wanted to, lad.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, but what are they going through right now?
Yeah.
And it becomes this, I'm more than happy to put up with this teeny tiny minuscule thing if this is going to make you happy, if this is going to bring you joy, if you just need to rest, whatever it is. And I think often early in relationships, it's about how much can I make sure they're willing to do for me. And for me, it's as we're together longer and longer, it's more like I'm more than happy to just put up with X, Y, and Z because I love you so much and because I know you need this right now, whatever it is. And obviously there's a limit to that. It's like you can't just let someone they can't just walk all over you. But I do think that there's a certain amount where it's like, if this is going to make you happy, like, yeah, it's fine. Not everything is about me. I'm not the star of the show. Like, so you know what I mean? So that's been something that is, in terms of being in a relationship for longer, I feel like I just see a lot of like single people or people who are, it's ironically people who are never really happy in a relationship who are always just like, what are they going to do for me? Why aren't they doing this for me? I'm like, it's not all about you, dude. It's like everyone has their shit. And when people are asking for relationship advice, they're often talking about like, oh, they don't do this, they don't do that. And I'm like, well, what don't you do for them? Because I think we're all looking for someone who checks off every single box. And the truth is, number one, there's not going to be someone who checks off every single box for you, and you're not going to check off every single box for someone else. And being objectively aware of like, listen, you have a lot to offer, but there are shortcomings as well. So let's be aware of your own shit too before you start judging the other person for not being so perfect for you.
Absolutely. And I think that if we try to check other people's boxes, you're not authentically yourself. And I think that's a lot of like, that's, I think why, if you can't tell, I listen to a lot of relationship podcasts.
Oh, do you?
When I was going through that breakup.
Oh yeah.
Everything. Dude.
I didn't even know there were relationship podcasts.
Trust me.
Interesting.
Okay. I'll tell you something. But what I learned was like, if somebody seems like this perfect person when you first start dating, it's because they're trying to be that perfect person.
Correct.
Right. And you're overcompensating when if you just show up as yourself from the get-go, this person knows exactly what they're getting.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're both trying to evaluate, is this someone I want to be with? Right. So I think always just showing up authentically as yourself is the most important thing.
Two more questions for today.
Yeah.
Number one, what are you scared of?
Snakes. We talked about this
Oh,
yesterday. That's like 1A of what I'm scared of.
Okay.
1B, I'm going to do C too. 1B is regrets.
Okay.
I'm very big on like a quote I love is don't die with your music still in you. And I took that literally at one point. Like I made a music album once, and it was because I was just like, if I never do this, like I don't want to regret that I never did it. If I never moved to San Diego, I don't regret that I never moved to San Diego. Like I'm very big on like do that
I love
thing.
that.
1C I think is death. I think it's just the unknown of it. Faith definitely helps, but also
What are you religious-wise?
I guess I would identify as Catholic.
Okay.
I was raised like Roman Catholic growing up, but then like I said, my mom's a crystal lady too, so like there's a lot of spirituality that goes into that. And then there's also like one of my exes was Vietnamese, so like they have like a Buddhist religion, and there's a lot of stuff meditation. Like I love certain aspects of that, you know, and connecting with the earth. And then there's stuff from Judaism, like you touching what was the thing you touched?
Mezuzot.
Mezuzot. Touching that, I love that. Like that's really cool. That's something I would love to bring into my household. That's just like I love the meaning of it. And then my dad's Muslim. Right. So like there's a lot of stuff he'll share about his religion, which I'm like, I just want to be receptive to. So like I might have been raised Roman Catholic, but I don't know, dude. I was raised in a household that was like my aunt's a lesbian, my cousin's transgender, my other cousin's black. Like there's Catholics, there's Muslims in my family. Like I'm just very much like, hey, like give love, be love. Like, give back. And the service you give to others is how you pay for rent on earth.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's how I really like to associate it.
And every person has unwavering value.
Unwavering value, unwavering worth. So those are like my big three that I'm scared of.
What about death? I'm not going to put words in your mouth.
Yeah.
What about death?
I think it's in my mind, maybe it's like the finality of one chapter and the unknown of the next. Mm-hmm. And it's actually interesting. Some people say that meditation prepares you for death. Like that sitting in silence and peace and just being still. And I think it's just the unknown. I think the unknown has always been a fear of mine. Unknown about making this. When you tried to get me moved to New York, I was like, I don't know about New York, dude. It's like the unknown of that, and it all works out. And then the unknown of what happens after life, you know? And I think obviously, like I said, that's where faith comes in. But I'd be lying if I said there wasn't like a little percentage of doubt where I'm like, oh, like, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think also like, I think the way you go too, I think, obviously it's not something you control. But I think we all envision like family all around us, sunrise or sunset, and just drifting off, right, in a peaceful slumber. I think there's that trickles through my mind too. But I would say it's more about what is there, what is on the other side. And I sure hope like my grandpa greets me or just everybody I love. Like that would be cool. My dad said, I was talking to him, that he's like, in like the Muslim religion, like, you keep your, like, you don't keep your riches, obviously leave that behind, but you keep your family and all that. I was like, well, what if you don't like your family? I'm like, that's tough. But like I said, I think that's ultimately why there's a fear there. But I'm also so receptive to how everybody approaches faith. And I think to me, that just means, man, there's definitely love and all that on the other side of this,
I was never scared of death until I had kids.
Interesting.
Death, like people would say death and people would say, like the most common fears are like public speaking and death. And I was never really scared of either. And then as soon as I had my first daughter, and now after my second, it's like now I'm scared of death. But it's not about like what's going to happen to me. It's more about the fear of like, will they be okay? and then not being able to watch as they grow. And so it has literally nothing to do with like, where do I go or what happens to me? It's more about, will the people that I love be okay? And then the fear of missing out on all of what they would do. That's what scares the shit out of me.
I definitely understand the FOMO part. The FOMO part where it's like, man, am I gonna miss out on this or that moment? And also like probably the empathy you have where it's like they're gonna miss out on you being there.
Yeah.
Right. That crushes me. I don't even have kids.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be okay. We're all gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just the tough part where you're like, I wanna make sure they're okay.
Yes.
Right? You wanna ensure that they'll be okay.
Yeah.
But also we know that we can't do that
You
for
can't
anybody.
exactly. What are you excited about?
I'm excited about seeing my girlfriend next month. We always like plan when we're going to see each other next each month, which is really nice. I'm excited just for this. This was really like this moment is really cool. I wasn't kidding about this. I was really nervous about this because you're somebody who I look up to so much and has given so much to me. And like I said, I'm just so honored and grateful to be here and have this conversation with you. And like all our history, I love going through our history, dude, because it's like, man, that really shaped so much of who I am today. And like that's why I always say, dude, it always starts with those little moments of me talking to you shirtless outside, like, and you telling me you love me and you always like reaching out and things like that. And even though you have kids and family now, like we still find a way to make time and all that. And I think I'm trying not to be too excited for the future. I'm trying to be here with you right now. You know what I mean? Like, cause this means the world to me. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity, dude. Like really, legitimately.
I love you, man.
I love you too.
Thank you for coming out.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you referred me clients like 5 years ago or 5 or 6 years ago. I remember that call because it like, changed my life. It was the eve of, it was New Year's Eve.
Okay.
You called me up and you're like, hey dude, like, I don't do one-on-ones anymore. Like, I want to refer. I was always so curious, like, out of everybody, why did you choose me to do that?
That's a really good question. The industry has a lot of people who call themselves coaches, and there are a lot of people who know a lot about health and fitness and about the science and all of that. There are very few people who really care about the people that they work with and who are going to go above and beyond for making sure that their clients know that they're heard, know that they're cared about, looking beyond just the science of it, which I think if there's one thing you did today, it's like you really spoke about so many other avenues to make sure that you're okay and to address various issues that you have. You're very well versed and understand the science, but you're not bound by it and you're not trapped by it. And I think that you do a really great job of giving people space, letting them feel heard, listening to them. And there aren't many other people in the industry that I would trust to do that. So that's it.
Yeah, dude. I literally cried after we got off the phone. I was like, this is like, it's like Gordon Ramsay recommending you to be the chef, dude. I was like, oh, wow. Because that changed my life, dude. It really did.
Good, dude.
Like I said, I'm so grateful for everything.
I'm glad. You've earned it. You're an amazing coach. I want everyone listening, if you need a one-on-one online fitness coach who will do a lot more, contact Ryan. He's amazing. We'll put all of your stuff in the show notes.
Thank you, dude.
What's your Instagram, just so people can hear it?
It's at Body by Ryan Fitness. Don't call me Brian. It's Ryan. Okay? That drives me crazy. No box breathing can take away my anguish after getting called Brian. It's quite hurtful. Oh, but yeah, that's where you can find me there.
Amazing. So all of it will be in the show notes. Dude, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, dude. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Love you.
Love you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, number one, please make sure you follow Ryan, not Brian, Body by Ryan Fitness on Instagram. Again, everything will be in the show notes. Contact him if you need an amazing one-on-one coach. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify. Give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you soon.